The following is a presentation of the Big Ten Conference.
We're in Piscataway, final home game in the career of senior Ethan Kaliak-Manis for Rutgers. Katron Allen set to set some major records, including 4,000 yards potentially, with a big day today. And the winner of this one becomes bowl eligible. It's the Penn State Nittany Lions and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights from Piscataway. Here come the Nittany Lions. A lot of white and navy blue in the stadium today. Plenty of Rutgers fans to go along with it. And again, what is on the line? Winner becomes bowl eligible. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Piscataway with Jake Butt, Brooke Fletcher down to the field. Jeff Levering with you. Thanks so much for being with us today. It's our regular season finale, and more for these two teams, Jake, than the regular season finale. An opportunity to play in a bowl game, whoever wins this one, but for both teams, major implications for both schools.
Yeah, it's the same as every year with Rutgers, and Greg Schiano calls this a developmental program. Those 15 practices that you get with the bowl game are the definition of a developmental window. Now, for Penn State, it's honestly a little shocking for them to be here. You go from a preseason favorite to win a national title to fighting for your bowl game life. And yet, when you watch them on film, this is a team that has a lot to play for. We asked Terry Smith. He said the players want to play in a bowl game. The coaches want to coach in a bowl game. And for Terry Smith in particular, this is the final live opportunity to communicate to Pat Kraft and the world why he's the long-term answer for the Penn State head coaching job. Now, to get here, they've had to lean heavily on their running back, Katron Allen. And let's take a look at today's Built to Work as it's sponsored by UKG. Katron Allen has had a phenomenal career, and you think about all the great running backs to come through Penn State, #1 all-time in career rushing yards, and in particular these last two wins, these last 2 weeks is when he's really come alive. He's provided a significant emotional boost to this team, Jeff.
Heard about the senior running back. How about a freshman quarterback for Penn State? For more on that, here's Brooke Fletcher.
Well, Jeff, when your running back is playing as well as Katron Allen is, it's only going to alleviate pressure off of your quarterback, and that's exactly what you're seeing with Ethan Grunkemeyer as of late. Interim head coach Terry Smith said he's just flourished over the last few weeks. The game has really slowed down for him. You can see that confidence and just good decision-making. But when you look on the other side, you have a quarterback in Ethan Kaliak-Manis, where he told me he's just taking in the moment here today for senior day. As he reflected on his journey, he said, listen, I've been through a lot, but I never quit. He said, I have grown so much, and I'm ready to go out and show it here today on this field at Shai Stadium for the last time, guys.
Appreciate you so much, Brooke. And not just Ethan Kaliak-Manis trying to get to 3,000 yards. We are on a milestone checklist today. Nicholas Singleton just one touchdown away from setting the Penn State all-time touchdown record. He's tied with Saquon Barkley right now. Katron Allen, we talked about him. 46 yards short of 4,000. Kaliak-Manis trying to get to 3,000. KJ Duff trying to become a 1,000-yard receiver. And Greg Schiano, by the way, one win away from his 100th as the coach of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. We are just about ready to kick it away in Piscataway. Sunny skies, little breeze, but certainly a pleasant day to play football. Penn State won the toss, deferred to the second half. Rutgers will get the football first. Gabe Nwosu ready to kick it away. Ben Black is back deep for Rutgers. And off we go from New Jersey. Puts it through the back of the end zone, a touchback. And Ethan Kaliak-Manis, super senior, one-time Minnesota quarterback, now in his second year at Rutgers. Quiet last week against Ohio State, but don't take anything away from what has been an outstanding year for Ethan Kaliak-Manis.
It has been. It's been a career year, and what Kaliak-Manis and Schiano and this Rutgers football team is hoping that this won't be their final game. And the key for this season with Kaliak-Manis is his relationship with Kirk Shiraka, the offensive play caller. He recruited him back when he was at Minnesota almost a decade ago. It's been that long. Their relationship together has led to an explosive and phenomenal offensive season.
With the tight end Kenny Fletcher in motion, handoff, slips one tackle, and almost out to the 30-yard line. Gain of 4 on first down, and the offensive starting lineup for Rutgers. This has been an offensive front that has been really good. The skill position players, they've got an opportunity to do something that's never happened before with a 3,000-yard passer, a 1,000-yard rusher, and a 1,000-yard receiver in the same season.
Yeah, the numbers, as they say, do not lie. And that's the key. This is an RPO-based system, so you need a running back that can threaten defenses, and then you need wide receivers that can win and beat man coverage, and you need a cornerback that can deliver the ball.
Here's that RPO, stepping up. Kaliak-Manis gets it out of his hand. Made a man miss. The catch by Raymond, who's still on his feet, and almost to the 45-yard line, and a first down for Rutgers.
Antoine Raymond is next in line. These Rutgers running backs have really made a name for themselves. Isaiah Pacheco with the Kansas City Chiefs, Monungai now with the Chicago Bears, and looks like Antoine Raymond has a chance to have a special college career, and I'm sure by then NFL teams will be keeping an eye on this Rutgers backfield.
17th reception of the season for Raymond. Quick to the line to diagnose that defense for Penn State. First and 10 for Rutgers, bringing heat, got rid of it fast. Catches made, another first down for Rutgers, and into Nittany Lion territory. Ian Strong with a catch. Defense has been flying around for Penn State, Jake, and the defensive line has really taken another step the last couple of weeks.
And that's how it should be. Guys like Denai Dennis Sutton and Zane Durant, those are two of the best players at their respective positions in all of college football, have really come alive in recent weeks, and this will be a theme today. A big part of that is Terry Smith, the interim head coach, has challenged those two players and really key players in the team as a whole to start playing to their full potential. You're seeing that show up.
Managed to pass again across the middle. Another catch. KJ Duff, his first reception of the day. And Rutgers is in the red zone.
And this is everything you need to see with Kaliak-Manis. Just looks so comfortable there in the pocket. Little play action. And then there's Kaliak-Manis throwing to his favorite target this season, KJ Duff, approaching 1,000 yards on the season, 6'6". One of the best receivers and really one of the breakout players in all of college football.
That one was good for 19. He's part of our milestone tracker today. In the red zone. Handoff up the middle. Still on his feet. Touchdown, Antoine Raymond. What a statement from Rutgers.
A statement indeed, Jeff, and this is the exact game plan that Kirk Ciarrocca wants to implement against this Penn State defense. A balanced attack, run, RPO, play action, pass, but the foundation of this Rutgers offense is running back Antoine Raymond, and a good job creating some space, opening a hole on the left side of that offensive line for the Scarlet Knights.
5 plays, 75 yards. Jay Patel with a kick after to make it 7-0. Gutting that defense of Penn State on that opening drive as Antoine Raymond finds the end zone for a 13th time. Terry Smith and Jim Knowles, their defense, allowing a big drive to allow Rutgers to get on the scoreboard. Jake, your keys to the game are sponsored by Modelo.
Yeah, for Penn State, it's about owning the line of scrimmage. We've seen that particularly on the offensive side of the ball in recent weeks, but it's true on the defensive side of the ball. Not a good start there for the Penn State defensive line. And then for Rutgers, they have to try to compete. They have to try to stop the run or at least slow down the Nittany Lion rushing game. And with Greg Schiano, it's always a part of his game plan. I'm looking for them to make a big-time special teams play sometime throughout this game.
Scullion kicks it away into the wind. Singleton comes up and makes the catch at the 15. Singleton is out in the open and brought down at almost the 40-yard line. Special teams stepping up big for Penn State, and good field position for the freshman quarterback Ethan Grunkenmeyer.
Ethan was thrown into the fire. His first 3 starts, you're going up against Iowa, Ohio State, Indiana. All 3 of those teams are top 10 in total defense, and you can clearly see progression as the season has went on. I think Terry Smith and Andy Kotelnicki have done a good job of really adjusting their game plans. In particular, again, going back to emphasizing the rushing game, then getting them into play action.
Katron Allen gets a carry on first down, trying to get the edge. And breaks across the 40-yard line. Pick up a 4 on first down. Give him 1 more for 5. Here are the starters. A lot of seniors on this offensive group that are seniors, 8 of them. Starting with Katron Allen, who's only a handful of yards shy of 4,000 in his career.
And then Khalil Dinkins is probably the most underrated player of this Penn State offense as a blocking tight end. But this offensive line is veteran. They're extremely athletic, and I've seen them really come together as a group again in recent weeks. They're an athletic group. And Kotelnicki has been emphasizing the outside runs, whether it's toss plays, outside zone, or crack pull plays. Get those guys running out in space.
2nd down and 5, handoff again to Allen, right side, tries to break a tackle and brought down by his ankles. 3rd down and 2. This Rutgers defense had a tough time stopping the run over the course of the season. They are without Abram Wright in the starting lineup. Sam Robinson is making the start at linebacker.
And Sam Robinson is a sophomore. He'll be lined up against Jabome, number 8, the senior linebacker. Those two guys are key. Penn State likes to mess with the snap count, with the tempo. They run exotic formations and motions. Communication has to come from that linebacker group, which means Sam Robinson getting the start today. He's a key piece of that part of the Rutgers game plan.
3rd down and 2, going quick with the tempo. Grunkemeyer gets it to the outside. Allen made one man miss, trying to keep those legs turning, and Rutgers comes up with a stop on 3rd down.
And it looks like Terry Smith is going to keep the offense here on the field. And with Grunkemeyer, he had his tight end, Luke Reynolds, coming wide open across the middle of the field, but got to his check down a little too quickly.
Penn State at 59% with their 4th down conversions, 16 out of 27 on the season. 4th down and 2. Play action pass. Grunkemeyer, wide open catch made. Andrew Raponier down the sideline. Touchdown Penn State. On 4th down, the Nittany Lions come up with a huge play.
That's just a beautiful job by Andy Kotelnicki. It starts pre-snap with the shifts, with the motions. Rutgers defense having a lot of trouble getting lined up, making their calls, and I think we're all here expecting the ball to go to Katron Allen. The Rutgers defense certainly was, but they forgot. You got to cover the tight end, Andrew Raponier, in for the touchdown, and a key block there by the freshman, number 3, Kobe Howard, who Terry Smith told us the next step for him is he's a capable wide receiver, but needs to get involved in the blocking game. That block set up the touchdown for Raponier.
Barker with the point after. 7-7 game, a 4th down conversion. Terry Smith loves it. Great start here in Piscataway. Football on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by Discover, the official credit card of the Big Ten Conference, and by Auto Owners Insurance. Boardwalk out in front of the stadium here in Piscataway. Final regular season game of the year for both these teams, and now's the time to leave nothing in the bag. Whatever you got in there, now's the time to use it. Otherwise, you got all offseason to think about what could have been. And on the line, the winner becomes bowl eligible. Already 11 teams in the Big Ten Conference eligible for a bowl game. Wosu kicks it away. Fair catch called for. Rutgers gets the football again. Jake, your impact players brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance, simple human sense.
Well, how about that on the first drive for the Scarlet Knights? We saw both these guys making key plays. Antoine Raymond over 1,000 yards on the season. KJ Duff, the leading wide receiver for the Scarlet Knights, the go-to guy for Ethan Kaliak-Manis. And I'm looking at that defensive line of scrimmage. Nine Sutton, the defensive end, and Zane Durant. Those two guys have to be dominant. They're capable of being dominant, but they have to be dominant for Penn State to get the win today.
On the 25-yard line, 1st down and 10 for Rutgers. March down the field on their opening possession. In just 5 plays, brought some pressure, found the soft spot in the zone, and they find the tight end, Kenny Fletcher, who's close to the 50-yard line. Another 1st down. Boy, chunk after chunk after chunk for Rutgers. 4 straight plays of 15 or more yards. This is what Rutgers was unable to do against Ohio State's defense. They are carving up Penn State early.
Yeah, and this is the risk. Jim Knowles has an aggressive mindset as a defensive coordinator, and you saw him bring pressure there on that opening play. It was a good job of Rutgers being prepared. They picked up the blitz, but more importantly, Callie McManus got the ball out quick. If you can throw into pressure, that's when those chunk plays start to happen.
Audible at the line of scrimmage. And they'll hand it off. Raymond up the middle. And he's near the 40-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 44. Good gain on first down of 6 yards. There's some big chunks in the running game early.
Yeah, and this is an RPO run option. You saw Callie McManus fake the quarterback keeper. And talking to Jim Knowles yesterday, I asked him, hey, what's the big challenge of playing these RPO systems? And he said they stress the #1 coaching point for defenses, which is to do your job. Every single individual player has to do his job and trust the guys next to him that they will do their job, because the RPO system is built to attack the weaknesses. 2nd and 4,
more pressure coming, and a dart with a flag coming out at the last moment. KJ Duff with the catch, and we'll check the penalty. Gain of 20 for Duff if it stands.
Yeah, they're going to get A.J. Harris, #4, on a holding or a defensive pass interference.
Pass interference. Defense #4. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
This is a good example of what makes KJ Duff so special. He's 6'6", 225 pounds. He really almost has the body of a tight end, but the athleticism of a great wide receiver. Even with A.J. Harris holding and pushing and shoving, it doesn't matter because Duff is just too big and too strong. And a nice strong hands catch there too to complete the catch.
2 catches already for Duff. He is 4 yards short of 1,000 this season. We will get the playoff as Raymond is brought down by Dennis Sutton. 2-yard gain for Raymond.
Remember last week, Penn State's playing Nebraska. Nebraska opens the game with some explosive plays. They get down in scoring position, and then the Penn State defense was able to tighten up and get a stop, a key 4th down stop. And once they settled into the game, gave Nebraska effectively nothing. Right now, Rutgers is really dominating the Penn State defense. Let's see if they can make some adjustments.
To pass. Callie McManus. And it's dropped. Ian Strong got his hands on it, couldn't secure the catch. 3rd down coming up. Darius Dixon in on the coverage. First incomplete pass for Callie McManus.
That was a dangerous throw into tight coverage. The freshman Darius Dixon did a good job of fighting there at the point of attack to pry that loose.
In field goal range already. Callie McManus slings to the outside, incomplete. Colin Weber, the tight end, the intended receiver, brings up 4th down. And now here comes the kicking unit. Jay Patel on to try a 40-yarder. Patel 13 out of 18 on the season, a long of 51. And they're going to fake it. Patel's going to try and run for it. And he's brought down. He'll lose 3. Penn State was ready. Jake, you said special teams was going to be key today. Didn't work out for Rutgers there.
Yeah, you got to expect everything in a game like this. Rutgers fighting to get into that bowl game, trying to run a fake field goal, but Terry Smith had his special teams unit ready, coming up with a key stop there by Darius Dixon, the freshman.
Jake, Impact Players on the other side, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance, Simple Human Sense.
I feel like we've been watching these two running backs for forever, and what these two backs are hoping that they can have a good performance where this won't be their final Penn State game. Eric O'Neill really playing his best ball at defensive end, and then Jabome at linebacker has to be a leader and compete with these two Penn State rushers.
Sam Robinson, who's on the field for Rutgers, playing in place of Abram Wright, gave it a shot in pregame warmups. Robinson, his 2nd straight drive at linebacker. Handoff. Allen in the open. Katron Allen, one man to beat, and he is brought down to the 20-yard line. Jacoby Henderson ran him down. 55 yards for Katron Allen.
Why not feed him? Feed the beast. They call him Fat Man. A great block there by Andrew Rappelier, the tight end, number 87, to spring that play. You also see the other tight end, number 16, Khalil Dinkins. These outside zone plays, perimeter runs have been the bread and butter for this Penn State offense, and another big chunk run there.
2 straight plays over 50 yards for Penn State. The other went for their touchdown. And Katron Allen is now over 4,000 yards. Singleton gets a carry over the right side, and Singleton is brought down after a gain of 9. Chunk after chunk now for Penn State's offense.
Another beautiful block out there on the perimeter by Andrew Rappelier. Had the big chunk touchdown catch on the drive prior, and here's Penn State messing with the tempo.
Put it in the belly of Singleton again. He is hit at the 10-yard line and brought backward just short of a first down. 3rd and inches for Penn State. Allen comes back onto the field with Singleton. Double barrel running backs on 3rd and short. Handed off, Singleton. He's in the open. Touchdown, Penn State. And Singleton, the all-time touchdown king for the Nittany Lions.
Well, these two guys are just so special. Last week, Katron Allen becomes the all-time leading rusher in Penn State history. This time, Singleton stands atop the record book in career touchdowns. And fitting to have them both on the field. They completely fooled Rutgers defense. It looked like it was going to be a toss out to the edge to Allen. Underneath handoff to Singleton. Touchdown. Been seeing these guys make highlight plays since back when they were true freshmen. Now as seniors, and hopefully not their final game of their career, finishing how they started.
All right, folks, if you're playing along with us, we were doing our milestone checklist. We've had 2 so far. Nicholas Singleton passing Saquon Barkley for the all-time touchdown record in Penn State history. And Katron Allen with a long 55-yard run on that same drive. Went over 4,000 yards. We just keep checking things off.
Why not? Why not? You know, you might say with Penn State, with the preseason expectations, you know, it's certainly been a disappointing year, but they have a lot to play for. They want to play in a bowl game. The coaches want to coach in a bowl game, and they want to see these 2 key players finish their careers how they started.
Black on the return, comes up short of the 20. Let's go to Dave Rebson in Chicago for a Thrivent Studio update.
Yeah, Jeff, Ohio State has ended its 4-game skid against Michigan.
Offside.
Julian Sayin, 3 TD tosses, including this one to Carnell Tate. Number 1 versus number 2. Ohio State, Indiana next week in Indy for the Big Ten title.
It's going to be such a great matchup. Ohio State, Indiana, 2 best teams in the country right now. We had a penalty for offsides on the kicking team, and Rutgers has said, Penn State, go ahead and re-kick. Decision to have him re-kick.
It's always smart, and the reason why is we were always taught, whether it's a punt or a kickoff, if you have a chance to make the kicking team re-kick, you do it, because it's much more exhausting to have to cover all those yardage, all that yardage running down in pursuit. So for Schiano, he's making Penn State line back up, a little tired of already having to run down and kick again.
Set up a decent return 5 yards back for Gabriel Nwosu. And Terry Smith and his offense, they've been running the football exceptionally well. That's what they've done the last couple of weeks. They've simplified the offense and feeding the 2 big boys in the backfield, Singleton and Allen. Ben Black is set to return it for Rutgers. Kickoff, take 2. And a fair catch called for at the very last moment. Well, right now, secure a special deal with promo code SAVINGS25 and get 6 months of Big Ten Plus for just $4.99 a month to access hundreds more events across the Big Ten. Scan the QR code right now on the screen or go to BigTenPlus.com. Make sure you enter SAVINGS25 when selecting a monthly pass at checkout to take advantage of this offer. Kaliak Manis, third drive for Rutgers. Moved the football decently well against Penn State. Tried a fake field goal, and it was sniffed out by the Nittany Lions defensively. He was on the last drive, first down and 10, handed off Raymond, and he sneaks through a couple of tacklers and picks up 3 on first down. Jalen Harvey in on the stop for Penn State. Let's see if Rutgers has a response to that long drive. 55 of those yards on that drive, courtesy of Katron Allen. Second down and 8. Letting that play clock bleed down. Kaliak Manis to pass again. Flushed out to his right, and he throws it out of bounds. Third down and 7. And a flag comes in. It's down at the 32-yard line.
There is no foul for an eligible player downfield. The quarterback is throwing the ball away. It's third down.
So pick the flag up. Kaliak Manis started 5 for his first 5. He's 0 for his last 3.
These are the situations that Kaliak Manis and this Rutgers offense, they really want to try to avoid. The guy to watch here, I mean, Jim Knowles has a separate third down package, but the guy to watch is Denai Dennis Sutton, number 33's lining up right here over the right tackle.
Kaliak Manis across the middle. See where they set him with the progress. He had the first down and started running backwards. DT Sheffield. And it's fourth down coming up for Rutgers. He had the first down and ran backwards.
That's where you just got to have awareness as a player. Your Sheffield is a really quick wide receiver. Yeah, if you just fall forward, fall down, you avoid that.
And they're going to go for it. They marked him about a half a yard short. Substitutions coming in for Penn State. Officials letting him sub. The turnpike push here from Rutgers. Flags are out, and they're all in the defensive backfield.
I think Penn State had like 13 players on the field here.
That's it? Yeah. Felt like they had 50 out there. All right, Jake, let's figure your counting skills.
Defense, 12, more than 11 players on the field snap. The 5-minute field results.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
13?
13 is the magic number.
I don't think you're allowed to do that. Brian Banks was trying to say 12 men on the field, but he couldn't say it with a straight face, so he just said more than 11. So big fourth down and 1 conversion. They were going to go for it. Looked like they had it anyway against 13 Nittany Lion defenders. The drive continues for Rutgers. Pressure coming. Kaliak Manis lets it fly down the sideline. Got a guy. Huge gain for Kenny Fletcher down the sideline. Perfect throw from Kaliak Manis.
And a great scheme there by Kirk Shiraka. Really puts that safety, King Mack, in a bind. Right here, watch, his eyes are in the backfield, and he's going to have to first stop the run, and then he's going to end up being picked by his own player as he's going out there to try to cover Kenny Fletcher. So Kirk Shiraka is attacking that safety, knowing he is the guy that's in conflict. First, King Mack has to respect the run, realize it's play action, but by then he's being picked by his own player, gives up a big explosive down the sideline.
Great presence from Kaliak Manis, not to panic with a defender in his face. Looking middle, now he's going to try and run. Kaliak Manis slips a tackle. He's down the sideline, first down. Rutgers got out of the grasp of DeLuca.
Well, Kaliak Manis, he has just grown so much as a player and is having by far statistically the best season of his career. He is not, would not consider him a dual threat quarterback, but his footwork in the pocket and his ability to kind of feel the rushing lanes and know when to use his legs, that's been another part of his game that has taken a major step forward, as you saw it right there.
After a great first quarter, both of these offenses. Chaz Coleman is on the field for Penn State. He is upright on the far side of the line of scrimmage. They hand it off. Up the middle is Brown, inside the 1 yard line. And mark him just short of a first down. Pickup of 9 for Brown.
And again, there's the risk reward with the pressure. They're sending pressure off the left side of Rutgers' line of scrimmage, and the freshman, number 19, Chaz Coleman, is in there at the defensive end. He should be coming up inside.
Here comes Kaliak Manis, sneaks it in for a touchdown for the Scarlet Knights. Great push from that offensive line.
Coach Shiano is loving it. This is a great response from Rutgers. And another great drive led by Kaliak Manis, doing it with his legs, through the air, finishing with a nice quarterback sneak right over the inside of his offensive line.
Fourth rushing touchdown of the year for Kaliak Manis. Kick is up and good. We're all square. 14-14. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Later tonight, regular season concludes with a Saturday night volleyball doubleheader as the Nittany Lions take on Iowa, followed by top-ranked Nebraska against Ohio State. Coverage begins 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. We've had 5 drives combined between these two teams. 4 have netted touchdowns. The other had a fake field goal try. Exciting first quarter, I'd say. Scully kicks it away. Singleton, the return man. He's got a huge hole to run through. Singleton gets to the outside, cuts it back in, and he's wrapped up just short of the 50-yard line. He's had 2 monster returns, Jake.
And this is what he does. He's an explosive playmaker. That's what Terry Smith told us yesterday in the meeting, is he wants to get him somewhere between 10 and 15 touches. And he said that includes special teams because he is such a weapon and such a playmaker. Again, we've been seeing Singleton make these type of plays going back to his freshman year. Another nice chunk return there.
Maybe for not those. There is a flag down on the far side of the field.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 31. 10-yard penalty for the spot and the foul. It's first down, Penn State.
That is a killer. So instead of the football near the 50-yard line, Penn State is going to be deep in their own territory. Cost them 39 yards of field position.
And that is a huge call indeed, Jeff. Trying to find 31 on the right side. Yeah, you see it right there, all the contact. Almost looked like a block in the back. That is number 31, Colin Dinkins, I believe, the safety.
Younger brother of Khalil Dinkins. Play action pass. Grunkemeyer across the middle, and it's knocked away. Bo Masco with a PBU.
And that's a nice job by Bo Masco. He was beat here. Grunkemeyer really had his guy, number 8, Trevor Pena. He just needed to put that one out ahead of him or throw it with a little bit more zip. But Bo Masco, because the ball was floated in behind, was able to make up some of that lost ground and have a nice PBU.
2nd down and 10 for Penn State. Kobe Howard on the field for Penn State. Bottom part of your screen. Outstanding freshman receiver. Put him in motion. I'll hand it off. Singleton gets it. Left side, another huge hole. Singleton off to the races. He's down the sideline and he's tripped up. Another touchdown saving play by Elad. 53 yards on the ground for Singleton.
And once again, follow these two guys, these two tight ends. It's Khalil Dinkins at the Y, it's Rappleyea at the F. And a good job there by the left tackle and left guard, getting that going. Even throw in number 3, Kobe Howard, blocking downfield. Coach Shiano told us the #1 key for his defense, they have got to set an edge defensively. And right now, they're just unable to do that. All the outside run schemes are gashing the Rutgers defense.
3rd play of over 50 yards for Penn State already. Flag is out. Brunkemeyer going for it all, and it is incomplete. Another great play by Elad to prevent a potential touchdown. We'll check on the penalty.
Offside. Defense #1. Lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. It's 1st down.
Defensive end Jordan Walker, but a good pass breakup by Elad.
Yeah, it was, and this is the offense that Penn State really wants to run. They want to run the ball, they want to establish the line of scrimmage, and then get into these heavy, big play action, half-field reads, simplify it for the quarterback, Grunkemeyer. But with the way they're running the ball, why? I don't even think you need to get into play action at this point. Why not just keep running it?
Allen, the running back. He gets it on 1st and 5, makes a cut. He is brought down again by his shoelaces at the 15-yard line, and it's Elad again. Elad has saved a couple of huge touchdowns on this drive. But this running game from Penn State gashing Rutgers. We're all tied 14-14 after 1.
Welcome back to Shai Stadium. The 2nd quarter about to get underway here. Coach, what's the key to setting the edge and getting this big stop here?
Well, we're not doing a very good job of it. They've cracked us a couple times. We got to crack, replace, and come off and make the tackle.
Coach, thank you.
Well, this is a defense, Jake, that has allowed 7.5 yards per play this season.
And they're in last place in the Big Ten Conference, one of the worst rushing defenses in all of college football. And that's really shocking, knowing Shiano is a defensive guy. They tried to bring in some players in the portal, tried to address it, and just really haven't been able to find their identity defensively.
Handed off Allen, right side. Allen stays on his feet, and he is in. Touchdown, Nittany Lions.
That's another touchdown where Andy Kotelnicki is using both those two running backs together. Last drive, it was Allen as the decoy. Singleton scores. This time it's Singleton on the fake jet sweep. Handed to Allen back underneath. And, you know, this is the big issue right now. These running backs, they're untouched until they're 5, 10, 15 yards downfield for Rutgers. There's got to be someone to win at the line of scrimmage. Someone has to beat a block. Right now, every single Nittany Lion is winning their blocks up front, leading to these big chunk runs.
Touchdowns for Singleton and Allen, and a touchdown reception for Rappleyea. It's 21-14 Penn State. Let's take a look at what has gone down for the Penn State Nittany Lions. There's so much promise at the beginning of the season. Started 3-0, ranked number 3 in the country. A really difficult loss to the Oregon Ducks. Ended up losing 6 in a row from there, but they've won 2 straight ball games. They've run the football. They've got back to an opportunity to become bowl eligible with a victory today. And for Terry Smith, what he's trying to do is we take a look at his coaching profile. Sponsored by Discover. Great career at Penn State as a receiver. Son played at Penn State. as a corner from 05 through 07. He's been on this staff since 2014. Associate head coach, a great recruiter. He is putting his best foot forward to try and keep this job at State College, and he has a lot of support from his team as well as boosters.
Yeah, he's loved by the players, both current and former. Loved by the Penn State community, and rightfully so. He is a legend and a great human being as well as a great coach. And, you know, really what happens in these situations when you go to an interim head coach, there's always an emotional boost. We've seen an emotional boost, but he's made some key changes too. Talked to Kodolnicki, made some tweaks to the offense. They've been feeding Katron Allen much more, simplifying it, running the ball, getting into play action with Grunkemeyer, half-field reads. Defensively, he's challenged his key players, denied Dennis Sutton, Zane Durant. And they're playing much better football here down the stretch.
They have 9 rushes today, Jake, between Allen and Singleton. It's gone for 167. That is 18.6 yards per carry.
Yeah, and even earlier in the year, this was a big storyline with Penn State, as Katron Allen was really the hot hand, and yet Singleton was consistently getting more carries. Felt like everybody wanted to see Allen get the lion's share of those carries, and Terry Smith has made that adjustment.
Manis led his receiver just a hair. It was intended for Sheffield. 2nd down and 10, and on the other side for Rutgers, what they've done, 14 points today. It's most they've scored against Penn State since 1995. The last 10 meetings, Penn State had kept them under 10 points.
That's one thing that's pretty steady, is Penn State consistently has top-ranked defenses, but for Rutgers, the big adjustment has been Kirk Shiraka as a play caller, and recently found out he's a Broyles Award nominee, rightfully so, with the season the Scarlet Knights have been having offensively.
I mentioned it earlier, a chance for a 3,000-yard passer, 1,000-yard rusher, 1,000-yard receiver. Raymond trying to get to the outside, wrapped up and dropped. No gain. 3rd and 10. Zakee Wheatley coming up from the safety position to make the hit.
The big challenge for Rutgers and Callie McManus and the Scarlet Knight offense is they've had to be nearly perfect all season long. I think they're going to get a free play here.
Yeah, they certainly are. Another lot of Nittany Lions on the field. It'll be 3rd down and 5. They have about 14 on the field that time.
Substitution errors. Rutgers is going tempo. Terry Smith's going to have to make an adjustment here. They're getting caught in between subs.
That was one of the keys for Rutgers. Make sure that they were set. Now it's Penn State.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Penn State. It's their first of the half.
Got that timeout ahead of the penalty and ahead of the snap. It's like Matt LaFleur and the Packers against the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. We'll step aside for just a moment. Next Saturday, huge day of hoops comes your way when Ohio State battles Northwestern, Scarlet Knights challenge 7th-ranked Michigan, and Washington clashes with USC. Only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. A mainstay at college basketball games nationwide is Red Panda, and she is here today. Oh, what was that, 7 bowls? Is that 7 bowls? She's so good on the unicycle. I would love to see Jake just try and get on the unicycle. Forget the bowls. Sam Brown is a running back for Rutgers on this 3rd down and 10. Callie McManus feeling the heat, and down he goes. Xavier Gilliam, the first man to hit him.
They put the big 300-pounder out on the edge this time, so he's rushing there over the right guard, right next to denied Dennis Sutton, and just beats the Rutgers offensive guard right off the snap. Callie McManus with no time to get the ball out to his receivers.
Gilliam hit him first. Amari Campbell cleaned him up. Tyler Needham, starting left tackle, is being attended to by the Rutgers training staff. The tackle positions for Rutgers have been in flux for much of the season. The interior 3 have started every game.
And the tackle position has really been the weak point of the offensive line. Let's hope Needham's okay.
Seeing Tyler Needham walk off the field. Brings up 4th down and long for Rutgers. Needham heading towards medical tent. First punt of the ball game. Jacob Anderson is back to kick it away for Rutgers. Anderson kicks it away, almost got blocked. Tonight, Dennis Sutton, who's had a knack for doing that recently. He's got 2 blocked kicks in the last couple of weeks. 41-yard kick. Pena on the fair catch. Another drive for Penn State's offense. They've been running the football exceptionally well thus far. They'll get it at the 40-yard line. Just about a minute gone by in this second quarter.
Well, if you're Kotelnicki here, Jeff, I mean, I know coordinators want to be balanced, but I don't see why you would even throw the ball at this point. I would just continue to feed these running backs until Rutgers makes some type of adjustment.
Allen's almost got 100 yards by himself. He gets the pitch. Allen is brought down. Nice sure tackle by Cam Miller, the nickel corner. Pickup of 3 for Allen.
Cam Miller, the former Penn State Nittany Lion, now starting for the Rutgers secondary. He's the answer. He's the guy to bring down Allen.
Setting the edge. That was the main theme for the coaching staff and the defensive side with us yesterday. Penn State has dominated the line of scrimmage early. One of your keys, Jake. 2nd down and 8. Allen gets it again left side, and he is brought down again. Abram Wright, who did not start this game, comes in and makes a stop.
Yeah, and Wright, these linebackers, they benefit from the defensive line. That time it was Eric O'Neal, number 99. He was the one to set the edge and stone the tight ends, forcing the cutback inside. So that's the theme of the day, set the edge, and then you can get a 3rd down opportunity to try to come off the field.
3rd down and long. They put Allen in motion. And now bring him back to the left of Grunkemeyer.
And it looks like all-out pressure. There is no safety in the back of this Rutgers defense.
Grunkemeyer going deep, and he sailed his intended receiver. Miscommunication with Devontae Ross. 4th down and a stop.
And this was a low hit on Grunkemeyer. That's number 5, Kaj Sanders. It looked like he was stumbling, and he took out Grunkemeyer's knees. We saw that call last week in the Michigan-Maryland game.
Sure did, and it was less violent than that.
Yeah, it looked like a penalty to me.
Osu kicks it away. Sheffield calls for the fair catch and secures it at the 15 or 16-yard line. So a stop for Rutgers defensively. See if they can tie it up. Let's bring in our rules official, Dean Blandino, out in L.A. Dean, what'd you see on this hit?
Surprised we didn't have a flag here. Forcible contact to the knee area or below. The defender does stumble, but it's not like he didn't have control over his body. He's got to stay above that knee area. That's a foul for roughing the passer.
Dean, would it even matter, though? It doesn't matter if they stumble or not, right? It's just the result, where the defender hits the quarterback.
Correct. If he's being blocked and he can't avoid that contact, that's one thing. But there, he's got to keep above that knee area. And when you look at it, he's even making contact with the crown. Not that we'd want to make that targeting, but it's clearly forcible contact to that knee area.
Dean, appreciate it. And for Rutgers, they are the benefactors of the no call. They force the punt. They get the football at the 16-yard line. And a touchdown could tie things up. Antoine Raymond, the running back. Raymond gets the carry up the middle across the 20 and leans forward out to the 22-yard line. 21 and a half. This is a big drive for Rutgers.
Absolutely is. Going to be tough to stop this Penn State offense. Rushing defense is not the strength of the Scarlet Knight defensive unit, so you'd expect Penn State to be able to run the ball. Here's a chance. Your defense came up with the key stop, a chance to go down and tie up the game. Got to take advantage of it.
Hand it off again. Raymond, couple of cuts, and he dives forward for a first down. He is certainly elusive, over 1,000 yards on the season for Antoine Raymond.
There's so many similarities to Kyle Monungai as well. Both kind of similar in height and stature. Raymond a little bit lighter, but he carries the ball high and tight just like Monungai. Has that good bounce and feel, navigating the holes and leverage of the defense. He's really having a special season.
Fresh set of downs for Rutgers. Hand it off again. Raymond stopped just short of the 30. Let's go downstairs to Brooke.
Yeah, guys, and Greg Schiano told me Antoine Raymond really benefited from learning behind Kyle Monungai last year. He said just watching how Kyle prepared and carried himself has really played a big part into Antoine's success this season. And he also credited, running backs coach Andrew Shaw for just really creating that brotherhood in that room, guys.
Appreciate you so much, Brooke. Thank you. So much success in the running back room for the last few years under Greg Schiano and the rest of this offensive group. Sam Brown in a tailback. Kaliak-Manis steps up and dives forward, makes the 3rd down and 4 after a gain of 4. Playing with some tempo now. Hand it off. Brown runs right into the heart of that defense. Alex Tash right there to knock the running back backward. 4th down coming up.
How about that? The true freshman Alex Tash doing a good job of reading that, doing his job, being in the proper position, and meeting him at the line of scrimmage to bring up a 4th down.
Anderson to kick it away again. Rutgers has already tried a fake field goal. It was not successful in the first quarter. Anderson kicks it away. Fair catch called for by Pena. Takes a Rutgers bounce. And we'll be back in 15 seconds. Nick Singleton on the sidelines to open up this drive. We saw Grunkemeyer gingerly make his way into the huddle for Penn State. Took that low hit. Katron Allen, the running back, to the right of Grunkemeyer. And it's a little shovel pass into the belly of the tight end Luke Reynolds. And it's enough for a 1st down for Penn State.
It's another beautiful scheme, complementary to their rushing identity, kind of running a speed option out to the edge, play they've had a lot of success with, and then sneaking in with the shovel pass to Luke Reynolds, their sophomore tight end.
Official originally had marked it good for a 1st down, instead a pickup of 9, so 2nd down and 1. Had an opportunity to learn under Tyler Warren a year ago. Just freakishly athletic Luke Reynolds. Handoff Allen over left tackle. And brought down by Jordan Thompson. There's your 1st down for Penn State. And they're going to play with some tempo. Trying to get that defense set. Grunkemeyer back to pass. Across the middle, catch made. Rapelier with his 2nd catch.
That's where the tempo is advantageous for Penn State's offense. You get up to the line of scrimmage, it eliminates Rutgers' ability to rush the passer, and that allows Grunkemeyer to step up in the pocket and deliver a nice strike.
Penn State driving again. This drive started at their own 14-yard line. Already out to the 42 after a couple of nice passes. Allen and Singleton on the field. Singleton in motion. Swing it out to Singleton. Makes the catch, trying to get the edge, and he steps out of bounds right at the 49-yard line of Rutgers. Trivia time. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Since 2000, Nicholas Singleton is one of 2 Big Ten players with 10-plus total touchdowns in 4 straight seasons. Who's the other?
Timeout for an injured defensive player.
Jake will have some time to think about that. We have a injured player as Abram Wright, who made a tackle on the last drive, is on the sideline. Dave Revson standing by in Chicago for a Thrivent studio update.
Yeah, Jeff, Oregon trying to leave no doubt in its CFP quest. Now up 10-0 on Washington. Dante Moore with the touchdown run. It is the Ducks on top, but the Huskies driving as they play in the second quarter.
Appreciate you, Dave. Thank you so much. We already know the Big Ten title game coming up next week. Ohio State, Indiana. But Oregon in the mix for certainly a CFP bid in the top 12.
Maybe even a bye at this point, too. Right. Texas beat Texas A&M last night. Of course, Ohio State and Indiana expect both of them to get a bye, number 1 and number 2 in college football. That's going to be a fun Big Ten championship game, man. Those are the 2 best teams in college football.
Jake, have you had an opportunity to think about our trivia question?
Yeah, I think the key. Okay, so here's the question. The key here, Jeff. 4 seasons of 10-plus total touchdowns. That really throws a wrench in it because that means you had to score 10 touchdowns as a freshman. And usually, when you're a freshman scoring 10 touchdowns. And then doing it as a sophomore and a junior, you'd think you'd go to the NFL. But to return as a senior, Corey Sheets from Purdue.
05 to 08, Corey Sheets, was he on your bingo card?
He was not, no. That's a really good trivia question, had me stumped. I know Braylon Edwards from Michigan had 10 touchdowns, but he left after his junior year.
And that was the key point of the question.
Yep.
4 years of 10 or more total touchdowns.
Right. Because you'd think, if you're scoring 10 double-digit touchdowns as a freshman, sophomore, junior, you're probably good enough to go to the NFL.
Now, Abram Wright is being helped off. He was questionable coming into the game today, and he has to be assisted off the field. He was on the Penn State side. A couple of trainers helping him back over to the Rutgers sideline. Abram Wright, again, been a starter for much of the season, but this was him pregame, and he's been trying to fight through this. It had not felt comfortable all day. Did not start. Sam Robinson started the linebacker position for Rutgers. So Wright is headed to the medical tent, and we play on 2nd down and 1 from the Rutgers side of the football field. Toss to Katron Allen. He's got the first down. Pick up of 4 for Katron Allen, who's over 100 yards on the ground and just 9 carries.
Yeah, I go back to the job that Terry Smith has done. You always get a boost when you bring in an interim head coach, especially someone that's as loved and respected by his players as Terry Smith. But he's made some subtle tweaks to this team. And one of them on the offensive side of the ball was meeting with Kotelnicki, saying, hey, we got to feed Katron Allen. We got to run the ball, simplify the run scheme. And that's been paying dividends here in recent weeks.
Grunkemeyer to pass. He's got sideline, trying to go to Singleton, and it's incomplete. Good coverage by Koch Sanders, the safety. Trying to go to the wheel route to Singleton.
It is, and this is a really beautiful ball by Grunkemeyer. You can't throw a better back shoulder fade. And again, Terry Smith said they want to find ways to get Singleton touches more so than just handing him the ball in the backfield. We've seen him on special teams show up. They threw a little bubble screen there a few plays back, and that time try to go to him on the wheel, just couldn't come down with it. Nice coverage by Sanders.
Something about his helmet, that paint keeps falling off the crown. He's running hard today. 2nd down and 10. Allen the lone setback. Grunkemeyer, man in his face, and down he goes. Chipome with the big sack, and a huge loss for Penn State. Go back to Dave Revson in Chicago. Thriving Studio update.
Jeff, Minnesota and Wisconsin for the Axe in the snow. Wouldn't have it any other way. Darius Taylor, 49 yards for his third touchdown of the year. Minnesota on top, 10-0.
Thanks so much, Dave. Third and a mile for Penn State.
Look at this. Jabome, he is such an athletic linebacker. He's a senior, one of the key pieces of this defense, and he was shot out of a cannon coming up with a big sack there.
Handed off, Allen. Fourth down coming up for Penn State. Rutgers with that big sack, forcing a punt from the Nittany Lions.
This Rutgers defense has started to settle in a little bit here. Penn State was having their way to open the game, just feeding those two running backs, coming up with some key stops for the Scarlet Knight defense. Now it's on their offense to try to make some plays.
Rosu kicks it away. Nice spiraling kick. Fair catch called for at the 11-yard line by D.T. Sheffield. So another drive coming up for the Rutgers offense. Saw Tyler Needham come off the sideline. There he is right there. Looks like he's going to go back into this ball game. The starting left tackle for Rutgers.
To start this game, Callie McManus was targeting KJ Duff early and often. It's been a while since we've called his name.
7 of 11 so far for Callie McManus. Duff with a couple of catches for 39 yards. Just a couple of yards short of his 1,000-yard season. Changing the play. Handed off, Raymond. Goes over the left guard, spinning and then hit and dropped. King Mack with the stop, but a good gain on first down of 6.
This is just basic math by Callie McManus. He comes out, looks at the box. He had 5 offensive linemen and a tight end. Penn State only had 6 in the box. They had 4 down linemen and 2 linebackers. So you have good numbers, 6 to block 6. Callie McManus audibles to the run and good movement there behind Needham and the tight end.
Second down and 4, and again an audible from Callie McManus. Handed off again, Raymond. Cuts back to the right.
We're done here. We're done.
Knifes his way forward for a first down for Rutgers. Very elusive running back, Antoine Raymond.
And I think just Callie McManus is looking at where's the weakness of Penn State's defense. What are the numbers? Again, it's a 6-man box. Rutgers has 6 to block those 6. He said, okay, if that's our numbers, we're just going to hand it off to Raymond. It is again, you got 6 to block 6.
I was told there'd be no math involved, but that's easy math. Handed off again on the delay. Raymond right up the gut, close to another first down for Rutgers. Starting to gain some ground in the running game.
Again, why not? I mean, this is football. Really is a game of numbers. Great blocking there again on the left side of the line of scrimmage. It's Tyler Needham, the tackle. Kenny Fletcher, the tight end. Now it's Rutgers gashing the Penn State defense.
Still waiting for those big chunk plays. That's the difference. Penn State's got 3 plays of 50 yards or more. One of those going for a touchdown. The first one of the day for Penn State. 2nd and 1, back to pass, and now Callie McManus will run it. And he's dropped at the 35-yard line, but moved the chains again for the Scarlet Knights.
And I got to imagine, again, Callie McManus is just doing the math in his head. That time it was a called pass, but Penn State ends up with a really light box as the linebackers drop into coverage, and pretty much right away it almost looked like a QB draw. Callie McManus makes the decision to just tuck it and run.
All runs on this drive so far for Rutgers. Coming up on the 2-minute timeout. Raymond again. Nice cutback Still on his feet across the 50 and carrying tacklers deeper and deeper into Penn State territory. Positive side of the field for Rutgers offense. 2-minute timeout, Piscataway. Big question, are you fan enough? It's sponsored by Dr. Pepper. It's a Pepper thing. Pre-game here in Piscataway, final home game of the regular season. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights, winner of this one, gets a bowl bid, potentially at least eligible for a bowl with their 6th win. Both teams coming in at 5 and 6. 'Tis the season after this Thanksgiving holiday. Happy belated Thanksgiving, Jake.
Happy Thanksgiving, Jeff.
I am still full from all the apple pie that I ate. First down and 10 for Rutgers. Kaliak-Manis back to pass, goes across the middle, catch is good for first down. Ian Strong with the reception.
Here's the exact game. This time Jim Knowles comes out, he brings an extra guy down in the box. That means there's less resources in the back end to defend the pass. There goes the RPO. One-on-one with Ian Strong. Kaliak-Manis likes that matchup. Nice throw, nice catch.
From the 30-yard line, still all 3 timeouts for Rutgers. That was the first pass of this drive. Handed off, Raymond. Got out of the hands of Dennis Sutton, still on his feet across the 25-yard line. What a move by Antoine Raymond.
Well, Raymond's only 5'11". Dennis Sutton is 6'5". And he said, rather than trying to hit the stiff arm, I'll just duck right underneath you.
Not going to go over, I'll go under. Missed tackle turned into a gain of 7 for Raymond. Raymond's closing in on 100 yards. He's got 95. Raymond carries it again. It's close to the 20-yard line. They'll mark him a half a yard short, and a timeout used by Rutgers, their first of the half, with 48 seconds to go. Scoring opportunity back in 30. Halftime show is coming up. It's sponsored by Old Trapper, Rick Pizzo, Jerry DiNardo, Brock Vereen, all standing by, getting all set on what's a great last day of the regular season of the Big Ten. First half analysis. Buckeyes moving on to the championship game with their win against Michigan. And highlights from the rest of rivalry week. 3rd down and short. Raymond gets it. Raymond pushes forward. Now gets some help from his buddies. First down, Rutgers. They push it for an extra 4 yards. And he's over 100 for the evening. Clock stopped to move the chains, going fast. Kaliak-Manis. Oh, he got hammered. Dominic DeLuca lowering the boom on Kaliak-Manis, and he is brought down. Timeout on the field. DeLuca lowers the head, back in 30 seconds. Dominic DeLuca picking up his 2nd sack of the season. That was a hellacious hit and a loss of 6 on the sack.
It was a great play call there by Jim Knowles. They've been patient, letting Rutgers just run the ball, and then Rutgers decided to go tempo, and right on time Jim Knowles sends pressure, and DeLuca lights up Kaliak-Manis for a key sack.
2nd and 16. 1 timeout remaining for Rutgers in the half. Kaliak-Manis back to pass again. Wide open! Touchdown! D.T. Sheffield. Defender fell down for Penn State. And to the victor goes the spoils.
And the question is can you beat one-on-one coverage, man coverage downfield? Jim Knowles is playing man coverage. Here it is. Here's D.T. Sheffield. working one-on-one with Zion Tracy, and just a beautiful job at the top of the route. The stem dives inside, puts his foot in the ground, and beats Zion Tracy for the touchdown.
Patel for the point after. It is up and good, and we are all tied here in Piscataway. 27 seconds to go. Touchdown pass for Kaliakmanis. We're back in 30 seconds. (21-21), and Rutgers, who has had a really hard time scoring points traditionally against Penn State. They had 16 points total in the last 3 meetings. 21 in the first half here tonight.
That was a beautiful drive. Rutgers got the ball with about 5 minutes left on the clock, so you're not sitting there in 2-minute situations, and yeah, really leaned heavily on the run game. Only 2 passes, but that final pass there to Sheffield came at the right time and a big touchdown.
Back and forth we go as Singleton back to receive the kick, and a little pooch kick. They're not even give Singleton an opportunity to return it. Two timeouts, 27 seconds to go. How aggressive will Terry Smith and Andy Kotelnicki be on this drive to get points? Plus, they get the kick out of the break.
Yeah, well, I think it all comes down to this first play. What a lot of coaches do, they'll just hand the ball off and see if you can't get a chunk run. If you get a first down, then you get into tempo mindset, and wouldn't shock anybody if Penn State was able to get a chunk run here on first down.
Singleton, the lone setback. Singleton gets it, goes over the right side. There's a big chunk near the 40-yard line.
Take a ball, Penn.
And a timeout used by Penn State. The long
timeout Penn
for
State.
Ryan Barker is 49 yards this year. He has tried 1 from 50 plus and missed it. So if that's the case, you got to get it to the 32-yard line of Rutgers. It has been all ground game essentially, and all the catches have gone to tight ends and running backs. No wide receiver catches so far.
That's the question here is, with only 1 timeout left, Grunkemeyer is going to have to beat Rutgers defense through the air. Haven't seen that yet.
Just saw Abram Wright on the exercise bike. There's a ground game today, an average of 11.2 per carry. And a lot of success in the ground game for Penn State tonight. A lot of 2s, 2nd and 2, 22 seconds to go in the second quarter. Sling it out to the outside. Finally a catch by a wide receiver, Trevor Pena, with a first down for Penn State.
And that's a great play call. Coming out of the timeout, you can call 2 plays on the sideline. You start with the screen and then already have a second play called.
Grunkemeyer, good pass and catch. Another receiver, Devontae Ross with the reception. They are nearing field goal range. 11 seconds to go. Still with a timeout in their pocket. Wind the clock. Grunkemeyer to pass again. Tries the middle. It's caught. Pena again. Now you're in field goal range. 4 seconds to go. Can use that final timeout and try and get some points on the board for Penn State. What a drive by Grunkemeyer.
I love everything about that drive. Grunkemeyer just operating the offense here in 2-minute situation. Doing a great job of getting everybody lined up. It was a great job for the offense as a whole. Everybody understanding their assignment, understanding the urgency that needs to happen. And then Grunkemeyer with 2 beautiful throws to end that drive and set up this field goal opportunity.
No ill effects from that low hit that he took a couple of drives ago.
To 5 seconds, 0-5.
Officials adding 1 second onto the clock. So 5 seconds to go in this first half.
Thank you.
Saw the lips of Terry Smith right there. Field goal. And from the spot, it looks like a 32-yard try. Barker is 5 for 5 from 30 to 39 yards this year. timeout called by Rutgers. He used his final timeout of the first half to give Barker a chance to think about it.
Seems like every coach every week emphasizes that middle 8. Going into the half and coming out of the half is often what decides the result of the game. It was a beautiful drive there by Rutgers offense to tie up the game. They built a ton of momentum. The defense had been clicking. And then Grunkemeyer comes back with a beautiful response, really with the Penn State offense as a whole, to steal the momentum back, set up a scoring opportunity here with your field goal unit.
13 out of 14 on the year for Barker. For the middle of the field from 32 yards. Trying to give Penn State a halftime lead. Kick is up and it is good. 1 second left on the clock. 10 combined points in the last 27 seconds of this first half. That was a good-looking drive right there by Penn State and Grunkemeyer. He made some excellent throws.
It's a good example of why getting to that bowl game really matters. You know, obviously for Rutgers, Giano calls them, this is a developmental program. So those 15 practices are valuable. And then for Penn State, I know there was national title expectations, but that's obviously out the door. Getting to a bowl game for Penn State is 15 practices.
It's changed 48. Number 20 is now wearing 48.
You know, those 15 practices for a guy like Grunkemeyer are invaluable. You know, that's an additional spring ball for a guy that is going to be your starter most likely next season.
Well, we've seen quite the track meet so far. 311 yards for Penn State in the first half. Almost 300 yards for Rutgers. Just what you want to see after the feast of Thanksgiving. Feast of yardage in this first half in Piscataway. More than likely the final play of this first half. Kicking into the wind. Nwosu. And they'll just squib it. And that will be the end of the first half. So 24-21, your halftime score. Penn State with a 3-point lead over the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Again, the winner becomes a bowl eligible. Penn State's got the 3-point lead, and we'll go to Brooke Fletcher with Terry Smith.
Coach, what did you like about how Ethan Grunkemeyer and this offense handled that last drive there?
Very poised to move the ball down the field that efficiently, to get some points on the board. Super happy in his progress. That was a heck of a drive for him.
With Rutgers offense starting to find their stride here, what needs to adjust defensively to combat that?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. We're not covering these guys, and then we're missing too many tackles. A lot of times we have the running back dead in the water in the backfield, and we're just missing tackles. So we got to tackle better and wrap up.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
24-21, your halftime score in Piscataway. Final regular season game of the year for both these teams. Old Trapper halftime show is on the way next.
Nicholas Singleton now stands alone, Penn State's all-time rushing touchdown leader, passing Saquon Barkley with that score. Nittany Lions over the Scarlet Knights, 24-21 at recess. With that, welcome inside our Big Ten Network studios in this Old Trapper halftime report. Rick Pizzo, Brock Vereen, Jared DiNardo alongside. Defense optional on the banks this afternoon. Penn State's over 300 yards of total offense. Rutgers very close at 296. And the Nittany Lions, Jerry, are continuing to do offensively what they've done ever since Terry Smith took over as interim head coach. Give the ball to Kaytron Allen and watch the fat man run.
Right. There's two things that are Terry Smith related. You already said one. Kaytron's got 10 carries already. Before Terry took over, he had 11 for the game and 24 now. RPOs, we talked earlier, countdown to kickoff. You have to be defensive disciplined to stop the RPO. Rutgers is hurting Penn State with the RPOs, and Terry told Brooke why. That's tackling. It's not assignment problems. It's we're not tackling.
I love that Antoine Raymond is having so much success on the field with two historic Penn State running backs and showcasing that his name should be amongst the better Big Ten running backs. And as far as Penn State, they do not want this game to be close going into the fourth quarter. I think Rutgers is actually more equipped to strike quickly. So if this is a one-possession game with 3 minutes left, that favors Ethan Kaliak-Manis and the Scarlet Knights offense.
For the uninitiated, no texts, no tweets. The Fat Man is actually Katron Allen's team given nickname, not made up by Rick Pizzo. Just clarification, 24-21 Penn State at the break. 2 other games underway, and both of them are tight at the half. Oregon-Washington. Ducks trying to lock up a spot in the college football playoff. 3-0 Oregon. Damon Williams going for the end zone. Instead, it's picked off by Jaden Kennedy. Oregon takes over after the touchback. Second quarter, same score, still 3-0. Dante Moore can hurt you in so many different ways. Moore puts the Ducks up 10-0, but just before the half, final 15 seconds, it's Damon Williams' favorite receiver, Denzel Boston, on the crossing pattern. 13-7, we have gone to the half in Seattle. A snowy Twin Cities scene. Minnesota, Wisconsin for Paul Bunyan's Axe. Darius Taylor is through, and Darius Taylor is in the end zone. He may not be a burner. We're going to blame it on the snow. Gophers go up 10-0. Terrific blocking. What a career it's been for Taylor. Happy for him. He's healthy to finish it off here for Minnesota. But just before the half, Wisconsin gets a score. How about Carter Smith to Jackson Aker? Now watch the feet. Originally ruled out of bounds. They would review it, overturn it. The touchdown is good. It is 10-7 at the break. Still to come here on the day inside the Big Ten, Maryland, Michigan State, FS1 broadcast inside Ford Field. They kick at 7 Eastern, pair of 7:30 Eastern kicks. Northwestern, Illinois. Just saw the field conditions down there in Champaign. Looks absolutely perfect. And then USC, UCLA also coming your way later this evening. We are laying the sarcasm on thick this Thanksgiving Saturday. Ohio State finally gets its payback. 6 years in the waiting. Show you highlights on the Buckeyes' win over the arch-rival Michigan coming up next. Brock thought I was just making stuff up about the field conditions down in Champaign, so here's some proof. This video was not taken last night, by the way.
Looks fun.
That is actually daytime in Champaign, though 4:20 this time of the year. That's what it looks like. They kick things off at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 local time. Ohio State, Michigan, a.k.a. the game. 6 calendar years since the Buckeyes had beaten their arch rivals. Early second quarter, 4th and 5. Ryan Day, riverboat gamble. Dart. Jeremiah Smith. That looks a lot like the catch that clinched the national championship, doesn't it? 35 yards, Ohio State leading 10-6. And if it's not Smith, Carnell Tate will get you. Julian Sayin to Tate, 27-9. Buckeyes 12-0, headed to the Big Ten title game and the college football playoff. Rick Pizzo back with Brock Vereen and Jerry DiNardo here on the Old Trapper halftime. This was remarkably impressive because the start wasn't very good for Ohio State. Julian Sayin throws a pick on his second pass. Michigan kicks back-to-back field goals. You think, here we go again. Not so fast, not with this Ohio State team.
And that's what stood out most to me. The previous 4 years, the Ohio State team implodes after that moment. After Michigan, very first play is a big run. They go up. There's an interception. Everything falls apart, and Ryan Day looks stressed on the sideline. Not this year. They relaxed. They stayed calm. They said, we are the better team, and we're going to win this game. And that gives me hope that a national title is still in their future.
And we are the team that's going to possess the ball for 40 minutes. I mean, they look like Michigan looked a little bit last year in the same game. 186 yards rushing. I'd say for a Ryan Day team, that's the perfect number. I mean, I don't think he's ever going to get to 200. They threw for 233 yards. Just a great game management, I think, for both Matt Patricia and Ryan Day, the way they complemented each other offensively and defensively.
12-0. Regular season, unbeaten, a spot in the college football playoff. And oh, by the way, we talk all the time about the fact that Ohio State won the national title last year. Nobody on this team's even won the Big Ten championship game, but they'll have a shot this coming weekend. It's Indiana, Ohio State. First conference title game with 2 undefeated teams since the SEC championship way back in 2009. The winner is guaranteed to be the 1 seed in the college football playoff. The loser will still almost certainly get a first-round bye. Nothing is certain right now at Rutgers except the fact that offense is better than defense. Antoine Raymond has gone for 103 yards and 1 touchdown for the Scarlet Knights. I promise in real time he was running faster than this. It's 24-21 Penn State at the half.
Big Ten Live Football Halftime is sponsored by Old Trapper. What's your beef?
Kaytron Allen continues to run wild. 10 carries, 107, and this touchdown. Penn State leads 24-21. Second half from Piscataway comes your way next.
Today's Big Impact research takes us to State College, Pennsylvania, where researchers at Penn State's Materials Research Institute are developing a new sustainable microchip material that will power technology now and into the future. Led by prominent faculty leaders, an interdisciplinary group of student researchers spearheads the efforts to make microchips faster, smaller, and more energy efficient. This results in improved performance for everyday items such as smartphones and car sensors, extending beyond to next generation technology and devices. 3-point lead for Penn State, opening up the second half. Penn State will get the football. Start of the third quarter here in Piscataway. Winner of this one becomes bowl eligible. Hi again, everybody, with Jake Button, Brooke Fletcher down on the field. Jeff Levering with you. Thanks so much again for being with us. Regular season finale on the Big Ten Network, and we've seen track meet. Great running from both of these teams so far, Jake.
Yeah, we'll see what adjustments are made at halftime for each defense, but right now the way this game is going, it's probably going to come down to which defense can get that singular stop or force a key turnover. And no surprise here, we knew coming into the game for Penn State's offense, they were going to ride their running back, Kaytron Allen. That's exactly what they've done throughout the first half. And then they've been able to build off some play action and other looks off of his rushing success, including getting Singleton involved. So a good first half for Kaytron Allen.
On the other side, Antoine Raymond, he's rushed for over 100 yards as well.
He's been outstanding, and I think the difference between these two offenses is Rutgers has been able to be a little bit more balanced off of Raymond's success. They've been able to build some play action and RPOs, but it really has been about these two running backs in the first half. Which defensive front, which line of scrimmage can make the necessary adjustments?
The yardage total so far for Allen and Raymond. Allen, half of that came on one run. He had a 55-yard run at one point in the course of the first quarter. Singleton with a big run. Both have found the end zone. Singleton had a run of 53 yards in that first half as well. We've been tracking milestones since the opening kickoff. We've already seen Nicholas Singleton set the Penn State career touchdown record. He passed Saquon Barkley with his touchdown. Kaytron Allen went over 4,000 yards rushing. Still, Ethan Kaliak-Manis is a handful of yards away from getting over 3,000, and KJ Duff 4 yards away from 1,000. When all things are said and done, maybe win number 100 for Greg Schiano in his Rutgers career. Penn State will get the football out of halftime. Kind of lost in that first half was how well Ethan Grunkemeyer handled himself. That play action pass came pretty easily for him. 8 out of 11, 134 yards for Grunkemeyer.
Yeah, the biggest drive was that final drive in that 2-minute situation to get his offense down into scoring position to kick the field goal and go up 3. To that, I'd even go back and say this really probably would be a tie game if Rutgers didn't run a fake field goal earlier there in the first quarter. Penn State's special teams unit was prepared for it and stopped them. Otherwise, this was probably a 24-24 game.
They took points off the board, and they were well within field goal range, too. So we'll see Scullion ready to kick it away for Rutgers. Nicholas Singleton is back deep. He's had a couple of big returns for Penn State.
They went with the little squib, the little sky kick before half.
In the NFL, they call that a dirty kick these days. And they'll go with that high pooch kick. Pena on the return. Pena gets through the middle and is brought down just short of the 40-yard line. So kick it away from Singleton. but good field position for Penn State.
As that first half went on, I mean, Penn State really came out swinging. They were having their way, just running the ball, whether it was with Allen, even Singleton was getting involved. They were just hitting chunk play after chunk play, explosive after explosive. And as the game went on into the end of the first half, Rutgers defense was able to make some adjustments and find a way to get some stops. Let's see if that will continue here or if Kotelnicki has some further adjustments.
Allen and Singleton, the running backs, hand it off. Katron Allen trying to get to the outside, and he takes Jabome for a ride after a pickup of 4 on first down.
One of the key adjustments, saw it right there on that very first play, is just the amount of red jerseys coming up into the box and at the line of scrimmage. One way to stop the run is put more bodies down in the box.
Greg Schiano was telling us yesterday he wants it to look like a picket fence where it's white jersey, red jersey, white jersey, red jersey, filling those gaps. They're making the running back make a decision. Give it to Allen again. Trying to close down, and a nice tackle from the backside. Jordan Thompson brought him down. Third down coming up for Penn State. 3rd and short. Running the ball exceptionally well behind this veteran offensive line, led by their center, Nick Dawkins. Third and short. Hand it off again. Allen brought backwards. Jabome is there to stonewall Katron Allen. Now decision time for Penn State.
This is just forming that wall, that white picket fence that you're talking about there, Jeff. And again, the theme of getting bodies at the line of scrimmage. See Jet Elad, number 9, the safety. They're moving him down at the line of scrimmage. Jabome in there unblocked. And remember, to open the game, this is when Kotelnicki decided to call big play action. They hit their tight end for a big explosive.
4th down and 2. They are showing that they're going to go for it. Allen, the motion man. Throw to the outside. Pena with the catch. Pena with the first down. Did not have a reception from a wide receiver until that final drive of the first half.
Yeah, that right there is a staple of who Andy Kotelnicki is as an offensive coordinator. It's 4th and short. You're expecting a run. They line up in a form of empty. Motion Allen across the formation. And then that motion softens the Rutgers secondary. Throw a quick screen, move the chains.
Jet Elad struggled to get up, and now the training staff will attend to Elad. Seen a handful of trainers out on the field already.
This is big. Remember, they're already down Abram Wright. Their linebacker, Jet Elad, is one of their best defensive players, one of their best tacklers. Something to watch.
There is Elad getting some drops in his eyes, was able to get off under his own power and being attended to. There's Nick Dawkins, the starting center, 6-year center for Penn State. He was the Penn State representative for the Jackie Robinson Community and Impact Award. He is the winner of that, wearing a special patch on his jersey today. And anytime that you are associated with a name like Jackie Robinson, that means you are doing something right. He is an outstanding football player, but an even better person. Handed off to Katron Allen over the left side. He was brought down on the outside by Bo Masco. 2nd down coming up for Penn State. And Nick Dawkins is by far the leader of that offensive line.
It's a veteran offensive line, an athletic offensive line. We talk about these records for the running backs, whether it's Singleton or Allen. Those are records for the offensive line as well. They all take pride in it. But right now I've been impressed with the adjustments made from this Rutgers defense. Haven't seen those big chunk plays in the Penn State run game.
Brunkemeyer to the outside, Singleton with blockers in front, and he's ridden down by Jabome.
It seems like whenever there is an explosive play like that, it's behind the blocking of the tight ends. That time it was Khalil Dinkins, the veteran tight end, out leading the way as they throw the screen to Singleton.
Well, that offensive line is a unit, to say the least. There was a press conference recently where reporters wanted to talk to one of the players in particular, and they said, nope, you talked to one of us, you talked to all of us. All 5 showed up at the podium. Brunkemeyer with pressure on him. Incomplete. It's in the air and incomplete. Off of the hands of the intended receiver, Kyron Hudson. Ball was in the air forever. And it looks like we'll get pass interference against Rutgers.
Defense number 3. Ball replaces spot on the foul. Automatic. First down.
Yeah, you just look at his right arm positioning right there. Yep, he's just holding the arm of Hudson, holding the upper jersey. The official had a perfect sight line to see that and make that call.
So a 15-yard penalty moves the sticks for Penn State. Allen, the running back, he takes the pitch and dragged down after a minimal gain. Jordan Thompson on the stop.
Looked like number 9, Jet Elad, was in there as well.
Missed just one play. Magic eye drops.
And again, I mean, Penn State is continuing to go back to these outside zones, tosses, crack pole plays. It's just the space that was there in that first quarter has really been condensed by the adjustments of the Rutgers defense.
Singleton, the running back. Singleton gets the carry, bounces to the outside, one man to beat. Good pursuit by Jacoby Henderson. 3rd down, Penn State.
Penn State's bringing in big personnel, linemen, tight ends. Again, they're going to be indicating and showing a run personnel. Let's see if they go back to play action or something with trickery.
Throw to the outside again. Pena brought down. 4th down coming up. They've seen that play twice already on the drive. This time they snuff it out.
Yeah, and these plays, these little screen plays, ball location is extremely important, but Brunkemeyer just threw this behind Pena. Watch where Pena has to catch this ball. It puts his momentum going backwards. If that's on the upfield shoulder, it ends up working like a handoff, and Pena can dive forward for the 1st down. But because it's behind him, Bo Masco and the Rutgers defense is able to come up with the tackle and the stop.
Masco, who had the pass interference penalty to extend the drive, made the big hit. Barker from 29. And it's right through. 6-point lead for Penn State. It's halfway through the 3rd quarter. Later tonight, don't miss a Saturday night volleyball doubleheader as the Nittany Lions take on Iowa, followed by top-ranked Nebraska against Ohio State. Coverage begins 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. And a good one here, Piscataway. Penn State on their opening drive of the 2nd half. Converts with a field goal. Big stop on 3rd down by Rutgers. Their run defense has been much better since about the 4th drive for Penn State.
48.
Making some adjustments. They are really crashing down on that defensive front. Let's see what the offense comes up with on their first drive of the 2nd half. It's Nwosu ready to kick it away for the Nittany Lions. Winner gets an opportunity to go to a bowl game with 15 bonus practices. Fair catch called for. by Ben Black. And Ethan Kaliak-Manis in what could be his final half of college football. You hate to put it into those types of terms, but for some of these seniors, whoever wins and loses this ball game, you're either playing on or your career could be over.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's the brutal and harsh truth. And it's crazy because, you know, as a football player, it's true for all athletes, but you know, one day you're a football player, one day you're an athlete, and the next day you're not. And the opportunity to play one more extra game, 15 extra practices, to come into the building and work with your teammates and staff, it's important for both these programs.
Even the running back, Kaliak-Manis throws, it's tipped, it's in the air and incomplete. Ethan Kaliak-Manis walking with his parents for senior day. He's got his brother Dino on the side of him as well, but you know, what a great moment for Ethan and the opportunity to walk with his brother and his folks and into the stadium today. There's something special about senior day, and as you mentioned, Jake, every athlete's career comes to an end at some point. Some get an opportunity to play a lot longer than others. Kaliak-Manis again, pressure on him, goes to the outside. Fletcher, and a flag comes in after a short gain. Check the penalty.
Holding. Offense number 54. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. It's second down.
Right tackle Taj White with the holding penalty for Ethan Kaliak-Manis. What he has accomplished this year. In the passing yards per game, he is third in the Big Ten. He's had 4 games of 300 pass yards. Multi-touchdown games, he's had 7 of those. 7th most career pass yards in school history. He's only been here for a couple of seasons. He's still sniffing on 3,000 yards. Needs a few more tonight. Handoff. Raymond across the 20. Out of the 22-yard line, brings up third down and long.
And the cool thing for Ethan and his family is no matter what happens, he's put himself up towards the top of the Rutgers record books.
Kaliak-Manis going sideline. He's got a guy. What a throw and catch. D.T. Sheffield. Excuse me, K.J. Duff made the catch, and now he's over 1,000 yards. 33 on that pitch and catch, and Kaliak-Manis dropped it in the bucket.
Yeah, he did, and it's good to see K.J. Duff come back alive. Remember, they came out targeting number 8, the leading receiver here for Rutgers, and really kind of the majority of that first half was all about Antoine Raymond in the run game. That time going back to his wide receiver 1, 6'6", 225, down the sideline in a key situation.
Penn State side of the field, and now a penalty going backwards. It's Taj White.
False start. Offense number 54. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Second penalty of the drive, and we've had 2 milestones that we could check off today. How about a third? K.J. Duff came in just a few yards short of 1,000 over this season, and we get to check one more off. There we go, with sound effects and all. Ding, ding, ding.
At some point,
Kaliak-Manis is close too.
He'll eclipse that, and then you'll have the 3K, 1K, 1K, which will be only the second time in the history of Rutgers program.
First time to do it in the Big Ten era. Kaliak-Manis to Duff. Flag comes out. And if they don't accept the penalty, Kaliak-Manis will go over 3,000 yards with that completion. Gain of 12.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 4. 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
So they will accept the penalty, so we're still under 3,000 yards. You're going to take that first down. What a catch by Duff, one-handed.
Right. Again, I mean, K.J. Duff, he's really been maybe one of the key breakout players in all of college football this year, having an outstanding season. And you can see why on that play. At 6'6", 225 pounds. A.J. Harris is in perfect position. except he's holding him and tugging him and interfering with him, and yet KJ Duff is just so strong, even with one hand, able to make the catch.
First down and 10 for Rutgers. Following the holding penalty. Raymond with the carry, and he's wrapped up. Amari Campbell got him by the shoelaces after a gain of 1.
Terry Smith told us he challenged Zane Durant a few weeks ago, said, hey man, you're one of our best players, one of the best D tackles in college football. We need you to play like it. Zane Durant then went on and responded. He said he challenged Denai Dennis Sutton. Obviously, Denai Dennis Sutton, one of the best players in college football at his position. If you're Penn State, you need those two guys to come alive and make a key play here at some point in this drive.
Back to pass, Kaliak Manis to the outside. That is going to be the record right there for 3,000 for Kaliak Manis. A pass complete to Ian Strong, and let's check another box. Kaliak Manis over 3,000 pass yards. Who got that dead horn in there for that one? Just got one more to go, and that won't be decided until the end of the ball game. Greg Schiano potentially with his 100th career victory at Rutgers. We're 4 for 5 on our bingo sheet, though.
Kaliak Manis is also making a push in terms of completions, season completions. He's inside the top 5 for single season completions for Rutgers.
Handed off Raymond. Bounces to the outside. Raymond down the middle and down to the 15-yard line. Good run for Antoine Raymond.
This is just beautiful, impressive offense. It's balanced, it's complementary. It's the run game, it's the pass game. Denai Dennis Sutton trying to sell like he was getting held there, and Raymond, he just has such great feel and such great vision of knowing where and when to bounce, to find that light. And always when he's carrying the ball, he keeps it high and tight.
Set up shop at the 16-yard line. Another trip into the red zone. Kaliak Manis hands off again. Raymond. Pickup of 3 yards down to the 13-yard line.
And I really think, I mean, this is, sometimes football can be complex. Sometimes it can be simple. I really think what Kaliak Manis and Chiraka are doing right now, they're just counting the number of Nittany Lions in the box. When there's 6 in the box, run it. Anything else, pass it, and a little pushing and shoving. This game means a lot to both teams and both those players. KJ Duff and AJ Harris, they've been battling all day.
Kaliak Manis going Duff's way. Touchdown! KJ Duff, his 7th of the year. It's a beautiful ball by Kaliak Manis, finding his favorite target, KJ Duff. And a chance for Rutgers to take the lead. Kick is up and good, and the lead belongs to Rutgers.
Well, it's a gotta-have-it situation. Rutgers fighting for bowl eligibility. And what do you do when your season's on the line? You go to your best players and one of the best receivers in college football, KJ Duff, the 6'6", big, strong wide receiver. Kaliak Manis loves it. The fans love it. Rutgers on top.
Rutgers leads by 1, Jake, and you got an Ohio boy that you have known for quite some time.
Yes, I have, and I got to give credit to my family friend, Steve Osmond. He says, hey, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Meg McCabe, and the young Ethan Grunkemeyer right there.
Number 58.
Back when I was playing for the Broncos, took him out to breakfast, and his mom, Meg McCabe, played basketball at Ohio State and said, hey, I think my son might be a college football player one day. So we took him in the backyard. We were running routes, playing catch, and I have to admit, Jeff, I don't want to brag. I think I was the first one to see the young budding star, Ethan Grunkemeyer.
Singleton on the return for Penn State. He's had 2 big returns so far today, and he is dropped just in front of the 20-yard line. Penn State is backed up. Let's go out to Dave Rebson in Chicago for a Thrivent Studio update.
Jeff, after John Nestor's second interception of the game, Gophers had great field position. Drake Lindsey to Jamison Gears. Minnesota on top of Wisconsin, 17-7.
In the snow in Minneapolis, Dino Kaliak-Manis made the tackle on that special teams play. Brother of Ethan. So here is the young Ethan Grunkemeyer. Katron Allen behind him. Penn State trailing. Grunkemeyer, shovel pass. Reynolds upended. Masco on the stop. He's had 2 great defensive plays in a row.
Yeah, and for a guy that's playing defensive back and nickel, look at him following the tight end, Luke Reynolds, all the way through, had him in man-to-man coverage and just read that all the way. Again, that was a play that worked in the first half for Penn State. They were able to get 9 or 10 yards, but the adjustments have been made. And right now, Rutgers defense has the upper hand on this Penn State offense.
They've really shut down the running game since the end of the first quarter, Jake. They're stacking the box. They pump it. Now they're going deep. Way to come back and make the catch for Kyron Hudson. First down, Penn State. Good adjustment midair.
It's a beautiful ball, too, by Grunkemeyer, throwing that back shoulder. It's good coverage, actually, by Cam Miller, number 7, but when you're throwing a back shoulder to a big-bodied wide receiver like Hudson is, doesn't matter how good of defense you play, that's an unstoppable play.
Had just 1 incompletion last week for Grunkemeyer. He's 13 out of 16 tonight. Following blockers, upended at the 50-yard line. Tuesday, catch men's hoops when the Nittany Lions host Campbell. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Going quick. Grunkemeyer running out of time, and he'll complete it to Rappleyea for a first down for the Nittany Lions. Another catch for Rappleyea, and a touchdown in the first quarter.
The other key here for Rutgers defense is, hey, you're going to give up some plays, some chunk plays even, but you have to tackle. Give your defense some ground to stand on. So even when Penn State's been able to attack the Rutgers defense, the secondary's doing a good job of tackling and, again, giving them just a few yards, if any, to be able to force a stop.
Officials allowing for the substitution. First and 10 from the 45-yard line for Penn State. Pitch out to Katron Allen. Cuts on the right side. Flag is out. Allen's down the sideline. 1 man to beat. He's out of bounds inside the 5. And we'll check on the penalty. This may be coming back.
Personal foul. Illegal hands to the face. Defense number 3. Half the distance to go for the end of the run. Automatic first down.
So a 43-yard run for Katron Allen. Kyron Hudson said, no, it's on them. Yep, there it is, right to the face mask by Masco.
Yep, and there it is, that toss crack play. Good job by the left tackle, Drew Shelton. He gets the play going. Got the tight ends out in space, and again, there it is. That time Rutgers secondary wasn't able to tackle Katron Allen until he's running down the sideline.
So at the 1-yard line, Allen and Singleton are the running backs. Both have a touchdown in the game. And it's Singleton, and he walks into the end zone. Second score of the game for the all-time leader at Penn State.
Well, that's the exact play he scored on earlier in the game. They just flipped it. They put both running backs in the game. Singleton in at fullback. And then they send Katron Allen out to the left alongside Liam Clifford as if they're running a little toss option play. Hand it to Singleton back underneath.
And the Penn State Nittany Lions will go for 2 from the 3-yard line. Empty the backfield, sprint right, throw it back across the formation, and it's dropped and tackled. The 2-point conversion is no good. They tried to hit the left tackle, Drew Selton. He missed it. It's a 6-point lead for Penn State. Big picture, Big Ten championship game coming your way next Saturday on Fox. The Indiana Hoosiers 12-0 against the Ohio State Buckeyes 12-0. The number 1 and 2 teams in college football. It's the way it should be.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked to Ryan Day earlier, and last year was a great year for them. They won the national championship, but he said as good as of a run as this team's been on, the players haven't been to Indy. They do not have a Big Ten title game, so it's a chance for the Buckeyes to check that off their goals. And then for Indiana, I mean, Cignetti, this is just remarkable, the job he's done. Just crazy to say that it's Ohio State and Indiana, the 2 best teams in college football.
They had 3 wins in conference play of 45 or more points, did Indiana, as they took it to Purdue last night.
That'll be for the Heisman, too. I mean, the Heisman ceremony should just be there after the game. Whichever quarterback plays better and leads his team to victory.
Here's your Big Ten championship trophy, and oh, by the way, here's your ticket to New York.
Right.
And who may win it? But I think both those guys are definitely going to New York. Who's joining them will be the other part of the story. As Ethan Kaliak-Manis trailing by 5. I missed math class yesterday. Went to break saying it was 6. It's 5. So still a 1-score game. Raymond, the running back. And Raymond gets it on first down. Big chunk on first down. Getting pushed and pushed and pushed. Still moving. And he's still on his feet. Whoa. And they finally blow the play dead. He almost popped out of there. They're going to give him an 11-yard gain, but he was still on his feet and chugging those legs.
Yeah, he's just so strong. I mean, he's 5'11", 205. You'd think he'd be more of a scat back, but he runs with such tenacity and refuses to go down. I mean, he had forward momentum. I'm shocked that they decided to blow the whistle.
They gave him a bonus yard, 12 yards for him. He's coming up on 150 yards rushing. And Greg Schiano is asking his team to come over to the sideline as the quarter is going to come to a close. I mean, this is very, very close, and they're just going to let that clock run down and say the heck with it. We'll go to the fourth quarter.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
Fourth quarter coming up. 5-point game at Piscataway. Good Hands, sponsored by Allstate. Kaliak-Manis to KJ Duff. That was on a 3rd down and 13 play and good for 33 yards.
He's been the go-to guy and showing up big. Also had the touchdown to close the drive. It's just been a game of math at this point.
Number 2 in the conference in receiving yards behind Makai Lemon. Got 85 today and counting. Flip the field for Rutgers. 1st down and 10. Start of the 4th quarter. Handed off Raymond. Scoots through 1 tackle and across the 40-yard line. Pickup of 4. Both teams have been running the football very well. 247 yards on the ground for Penn State. .406 total rushing yards between the 2 teams. Second and 6. Kaliak-Manis to Fletcher. Fletcher puts his shoulder down, stays on his feet, and he's into Penn State territory.
So just watch this. This is the entire game right here. What you notice is Finally, Penn State is bringing a 7th defender down in the box. They bring a safety down in the box. That's where Callie McManus checks and said, hey, we're not going to run into a loaded box. This time I'm going to fake the run and dump it out to my tight end, Kenny Fletcher. It just is a simple game of mathematics right now, and this is the advantage of the RPO offense is Callie McManus has a chance to just attack the weak point numerically of the Penn State defense.
Rutgers driving, coming up on almost 900 total yards of offense between the two teams. Callie McManus floats it down the sideline. Catch! Touchdown! Antoine Raymond. Rutgers back out in front.
And it's the exact same thing. Watch the safety come flying downhill for run support. Someone has to have Raymond in coverage. I believe it's got to be the safety. He's got to peel off, or a linebacker. Whoever it is had a complete blown assignment. Easy read for Callie McManus, and Raymond, who'd been doing it all on the ground, now adds a receiving touchdown to his already impressive stat line.
Second receiving touchdown of the season for Raymond. It's the 4th lead change, and now Rutgers on the same side of the field will try and go for 2. Looking to make it a 3-point advantage. Callie McManus to pass, got rid of it. Conversion good. Goes Old Faithful, KJ Duff.
Well, how about Callie McManus putting a bow on this season? He doesn't want this to be his final game. Finding his go-to guy, Duff.
Football on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by Drive Time. Get approved at drivetime.com. And by Copilot on Windows 11. Meet the computer you can talk to. Tonight is the night to use your touchdown celebration dances. There have been plenty of them for both teams. 36-30, 3-hour score. Minute and a half gone by in this 4th quarter. And for Greg Schiano, who's got a 3-point lead right now, he is in search of win number 100 in his Rutgers tenure. Kick it away. Singleton is back to receive, and he is coming out. Singleton wrapped up in front of the 20-yard line. Good special teams play by Rutgers. We have talked about the checklist of milestones today. We're 4 for 5 thus far. Singleton and Allen for the Penn State record books. Callie McManus and Duff getting to 3,000 and 1,000. And for Greg Schiano, 1 win away from 100 in his Rutgers career. If we get there, you're going to get a Price is Right theme song right there. It'll be great. One more checklist. Penn State has a lot of time left. Katron Allen the back. Grunkemeyer back to pass. He is going deep. He's got the middle, and it is incomplete. Threw it behind Devontae Ross.
He had Devontae Ross. Devontae Ross had a step. If that one's thrown out in front of him, that's looking to be a touchdown.
Updating our track meet so far. 451 yards for Rutgers, 432 for Penn State. A lot of big chunk plays. Second and 10, pressure coming, and dropped in the backfield. Katron Allen.
We're talking about adjustments too. Watch the safety come flying downhill. There comes Kaj Sanders, just building advantageous numbers in the box. That's been the theme for both teams. They have 6 in the box, 4 linemen, 2 linebackers. Sanders comes flying down. That's how you get an unblocked defender in the box in a TFL.
Eric O'Neill was the one that got pressure on the left tackle. Got his hands on Allen. 3rd down and long. They bring 3. Grunkemeyer finds his outlet. It's Allen making a move. And he's short of the first down by a yard. Inside their own 30-yard line, the offense is still on the field for Penn State. Last game of the regular season, Jake, fourth quarter.
With the way this game is going, too, it's about points. Your defense hasn't been able to get a stop. You'd rather say, let's place our bets on our ability to get 1 yard, and they're bringing in Khalil Dinkins on top of having Rappleyea, 12 personnel, extra tight ends, and keeping Allen in the backfield.
2 for 2 on fourth down so far for Penn State. And they push forward, and a whistle comes in, and a flag is out before the play. Delay of game, Grunkemeyer.
It's fourth down.
And head coach Terry Smith going at each other. Watch the clock.
What they were saying, that official was holding the snap. He was holding the snap late. Grunkemeyer was able to get under center only with about 4 seconds left. You know, the one thing I'm thinking about, too, they had that motion set up, but if you're Grunkemeyer, you'd probably just rather wave off the motion just to get the snap off.
And now another penalty comes in, and Penn State going backwards yet again.
False start. Offense number 8. 5-yard penalty. It's fourth down.
It's like Payne, you jumped and then tried to mask it as motion. So it goes from 4th and a long 1 to 4th and 11. Sheffield back to receive. Takes a Penn State bounce and a really good one inside the 30-yard line. Good kick by Nwosu. Greg Schiano and his defense gets a big stop, a 3-and-out against Penn State's offense. They lead by 3. Three-point lead right now for Rutgers. They've got 36 points against Penn State. The last 6 meetings, Jake, they'd scored 36 points total. This is the most they've ever scored against Penn State ever.
That is remarkable.
Trying to snap a 17-game losing streak against Penn State. They've got the lead and the football. Hand it off Raymond. Minimal gain, maybe 1.
Okay, so that time Jim Knowles decided to get a 7th man in the box. He brought Zion Tracy off the slot, a little nickel pressure. But aside from that, Jim Knowles has been comfortable. He's just happy playing with 6 in the box. And what really he's telling his defense and communicating to his players is he's trusting guys like Zane Durant and Dedinetta Sutton. They're the ones that have to win these one-on-one matchups. Right now, it's Rutgers winning the one-on-one matchups. That's how they've been putting together drives and scoring points.
I haven't said those names very much today, Jake. Kaliakmanis steps up. He's going to throw it. He's got a man. It's strong, and it's incomplete. Coverage on the play by Darius Dixon. 3rd down and 9 coming up for Rutgers.
Well, that's a beautiful ball by Kaliakmanis. It's good coverage on Ian Strong by the freshman Darius Dixon. And I think if you're Ian Strong, one thing you are taught to do is go back through the defender. You know, if he goes back through Dixon and is stronger to the football, he's probably going to get a penalty there.
So 3rd down and 9 following the 3-and-out from Penn State.
This is, we just said it, Denai Sutton waiting on that big play. This is where he's got to show up.
You're going to hand it off. Raymond right up the middle and a 1st down for Rutgers.
And really going into this game, it's Penn State's offense we were all expecting to see use tempo and shifts to their advantage, but that's a great example of Rutgers' offense messing with the snap count and tempo. Penn State was not lined up, and they're able to run a nice gash run play on 3rd and long to get the first down.
This offensive line for Rutgers has dictated the line of scrimmage all night. On 1st and 10, handed off Raymond again behind those big offensive linemen. Scoots forward for a pickup of 8 of first down.
If they're going to put 6 in the box, Rutgers is going to run the ball, and they're going to run it behind their left tackle and left tight end. Watch the movement generated by number 12, Kenny Fletcher, right there. Again, that's denied Dennis Sutton getting washed down the line of scrimmage. Kenny Fletcher climbs, stones the linebacker Campbell, and there's Raymond just continuing to add to an already impressive day.
Over 900 total yards for both these teams. It's over half a mile, just for the record. 2nd down and 2. Raymond gets it again, right side. He's out in the open and down to the 35-yard line. Antoine Raymond, you could have flown a jumbo jet through this hole.
Again, look at the big boys up front in the trenches. Got to have it situation. Yeah, you could have driven a semi-truck through that hole. Antoine Raymond, man, he is just so special. And you got to wonder at this point, is Penn State's defense completely gassed? No one's winning their one-on-one matchups in the box. I think Jim Knowles, he's going to have to make an adjustment. He's going to have to start bringing pressure, adding numbers to the box. Right now, Rutgers just having their way running the ball.
Coming up on 200 yards rushing for Raymond. Handed off, Raymond again, cuts back, getting pushed forward, pickup of 3 on 1st down.
Well, remember, they rode him to victory against Maryland. He had 240 yards in that game on 41 carries. He had 105 yards in the 4th quarter alone. That seems to be the formula here against Penn State's defense, just continuing to feed Raymond. And now for Penn State, here's your opportunity. Raymond's on the sideline. It's Sam Brown in at running back.
Late substitution for Penn State. Oh, the ball's out! Penn State, they recover! Penn State going the other way! Amari Campbell in the open! And it's a touchdown for the Nittany Lions! The first turnover of the ball game, and it goes the other way for 6.
Wow, and Callie McManus watched that with his hands on his head in complete disbelief. It's been a picture-perfect game up into that moment, and we've been calling for deny Dennis Sutton. He needs to make a play. That's your best defensive player. That time they left him unblocked, and here he is, big number 33. Oh my gosh, no, that went right out of Callie McManus' hands.
Ball just popped out on a cold night in Piscataway, and Campbell goes the other way. 61 yards for a scoop and score. Barker for the point after, as this crowd is stunned in New Jersey. A 4-point lead for Penn State. Halfway gone in the 4th inning. Penn State's got the lead. Callie McManus with the fumble. Campbell picked it up and scored. Callie McManus, he's going to get the ball back.
Welcome back, Ethan. Callie McManus there getting some love from Jet Elad there, just trying to hit the reset button. You know, Ethan told me coming into this game, guys, focusing on the details, that was going to be the difference. You know, he wants to get back out there and hit that reset button.
Thanks so much, Brooke. And it's not going to take him long to get back out there on the field. He got an opportunity to flush it.
Yeah, and this challenge now becomes fully mental, because that was just a complete anomaly. The only mistake, not sure what happened. It's not raining, it's not wet. He just fumbled it. But sometimes those mistakes, you can't, if you're Callie McManus, you can't let it take you out of your game.
And here it is again on the last possession. He saw Dennis Sutton, the ball just slipped out of his hands. And that hopeless feeling as Dennis Sutton just laid into him, and then going the other way was Amari Campbell. So how do you respond?
Well, I think if you're Shiano and Shiraka and Callie McManus, you say, guys, we don't need to change anything. Let's get back to doing exactly what we've been doing all game long. It's been working. It was a mistake. Let's wash it. And if you're Penn State, you're saying, hey, we just needed a little bit of momentum. It's a spark.
4-point lead. Rutgers needs a touchdown to take the lead. Handed off, Raymond. Stuffed. Gain of 1. They've had success in the run game today, coming close on 200 yards on the ground.
Looking out there, a lot of these Penn State defenders, Amari Campbell, a couple of the D linemen, noticing they got their hands on their hips. Spent a lot of time on the field here in this second half.
Showing pressure. They bring it. Callie McManus feeling it, and down he goes. Dennis Sutton came in from the backside, picks up the sack.
This is exactly what you need to. This is got to be the expectations for your best players. This is deny Dennis Sutton. When you bring pressure, that forces the running back Raymond to step up and address the linebacker, which means one-on-one for Sutton.
Here we go again. Deep ball looking for Duff, and it is caught! Oh, what a catch by KJ Duff! He brought it in with one hand. What a play by KJ Duff.
Oh my God, I can't even believe it. That is an unbelievable catch. That might be the catch of the year in college football. Wow.
Unbelievable play by Duff, who went over 1,000 yards for the first time in his career earlier in the game. He just kept Rutgers' season alive with one play. What a catch. Callie McManus. Out to Fletcher in the flat. Fletcher close to another first down. Let's go back to Duff, Jake.
Wow. Unbelievable. And this is everything you need to know about why he's the wide receiver 1 on this Rutgers team. Callie McManus, it's 3rd and forever. There's really no one open down the field, but let me just throw a moonshot up to my 6'6" receiver. And this is to catch with his right hand, to come over the top and catch. That's like the Odell Beckham catch.
He did everything but go against his body like Odell did. Right up the road at MetLife Stadium in Jersey. Handed off, Raymond. Slips through a tackle, and he's brought down on the backside. Zakee Wheatley. 3rd down coming up. Raymond having an outstanding day. 252 scrimmage yards. Most by any single player against Penn State since the early 2000s. Callie McManus going to take it himself. Wide receivers are just frozen on the outside. Callie McManus went forward, and I think he's short.
Yeah, by the spot of that official up top. Yeah, he is marking him down short.
Tried to go with tempo. It's 4th down. Closing in on 4 minutes to go. It is 4th and a legit 1 for Callie McManus and Rutgers. They're going. Callie McManus gonna keep, and he's not gonna get it. What a play! Zion Tracy flying down from his safety position, and he stops Rutgers.
That's the sign of a defense with a ton of fight in them. Haven't been able to get any key stops, but it's denied Dennis Sutton. He's doing his job. He would have had Raymond tackled short, and then look at the pursuit. Zion Tracy coming flying in, Amari Campbell. Callie McManus doing everything he can. That's pure desperation, putting his body on the line, trying to hurdle, but it's not enough, and a huge, huge stop for Penn State's defense.
Tracy and Campbell taking down Callie McManus. So following the turnover, the great play by KJ Duff, the one-handed catch, could not pick up a yard on 3rd down and then lost a yard on 4th down.
Rutgers offense, those two plays, they tried to do the quick counts. They tried to get up there with tempo, and I think it worked against them on those final two plays offensively.
Singleton following blockers. A flag comes in. Rutgers player down on the field as well as a flag. Sanders, sophomore safety, will be attended to. Penalty came in from the defensive backfield.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block. Offense number 8. Half the distance to the goal for the end of the run. It's first down.
It's Trevor Pena, number 8. Watch him come in. Call this digging out the safety, and he came up and hit Kaj Sanders, number 5, who's currently down and injured. For Trevor Pena, he's doing exactly what he's coached to do. Kaj Sanders is flying down in run support. Pena has to get in there quickly and try to dig him out to get the run game going. And that's a big time football collision. I understand it's a blindside block, but there's really nothing else Pena could do while still doing his assignment of trying to dig out the safety.
So it pushes Penn State back 15 yards. It's going to be first down and 23. So technically 13-yard penalty.
You're going to get another angle here coming from the right side of your screen, right up there in the top. And yeah, it's Pena. We called that. It was a push crack. If you see the safety flying downhill, you have to dig in there and try to crack the safety. So that's Pena doing exactly what he's coached to do again, and this is one of these things that was an indication of the way the game has evolved over the years. 10 years ago when I was playing, that was a teach tape play that you'd put up there, but
good to see him walk off the field under his own power. First and 23 coming up for Penn State. Later tonight, regular season concludes with the Saturday night volleyball doubleheaders. The Nittany Lions take on Iowa, followed by top-ranked Nebraska against Ohio State. Coverage begins 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Big Ten Network Fox Sports app is where you can find it. The penalty backs up Penn State, and Rutgers needs a stop in a bad way. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. They wind the clock. Handed off, Singleton trying to get to the outside, goes nowhere. Bradley Weaver setting the edge for the defensive line.
Setting the edge, Jeff. You're exactly right. Watch number 94 working on Khalil Dinkins. Khalil Dinkins had the angle pre-snap, but Weaver read it. He was able to flow over top, and then when you set that edge, that's what allows all those red jerseys to flow to the football. Great job there by the defensive end, Bradley Weaver.
Loss of 3 on the play. Clock continues to tick. Rutgers not using their timeouts. Allen, the running back, on 2nd and 26. To pass, in trouble. They set the screen to nobody. 3rd down coming up, and the clock stops, and a flag comes in late. It's on the far side of the field.
My. Holding. They're going to call holding on Rutgers.
Prior to the pass, holding. Defense number 10. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Jacoby Henderson.
And that's an automatic first down. I mean, that is huge.
Not even near where the play was going.
Yeah.
But a huge penalty, and it's 1st and 10 instead of 3rd and 26.
It's not just the penalties, it's the timing and situation of the penalties. Talking Shiano, that was one of the things that really ended the game last week. against Ohio State, and that is a game-changing penalty there by Henderson. You just can't do it.
Now you got to get into your timeouts too, as Kaytron Allen busts free. He's across midfield, and he is brought down in Rutgers territory across the 30-yard line. Cam Miller saved a touchdown, but Kaytron Allen continues to add to his yardage total.
No doubt, and this is the issue for Rutgers defense. You're selling out to stop the run, but there's no levels. There's no one in the back end to stop Allen if he does break through that initial wall.
Timeout, Rutgers. The first of the half. It'll be 30 seconds.
Rutgers uses his first timeout. Kaytron Allen with a 49-yard run. It was the hold right here by Henderson that set it all up to get Penn State a fresh set of downs. Instead of 3rd and 26, it was 1st and 10, and Allen pot free.
You know what it looked to me, and I don't know if we could see that angle again. Henderson, it almost looked like his eyes go into the backfield. I think he might have thought that it was a run. And that's what caused him to kind of hold there. Watch his eyes come look in the backfield after this initial contact. So here it is. You see his eyes go back there, and because I can't think of any other reason why you would hold just like that. You know the official's looking at you, matched up with the #1 receiver.
Man. Both teams have combined for over 1,000 yards. They are 50 short of a season high in the conference. So 1 timeout used by Rutgers, 2:13 to go, plus the 2-minute timeout. And they're going to pass it over to Ross, who will run it. And he will pick up a first down. Devontae Ross moving the chains.
It's a beautiful play call, using the expectation of Rutgers expecting the ball to go to Kaytron Allen. They're selling out to stop the run in a little flip reverse backside.
Little pooch pass. We're at the 2-minute timeout. Terry Smith trying to finish the season with a 3-game winning streak. Winner is bowl eligible.
Dave Repson, Howard Griffith with you. 76 points, over 1,000 yards in total offense. You having fun yet?
Yeah, you got to have a lot of fun playing in this game. And it looks like the team that has the ball last is going to win this one.
Penn State trying to run out the clock and get to win number 6. We're going to take you to volleyball when it's over. Chance to see the defending national champion Nittany Lions taking on Iowa. First serve just over 15 minutes away, but got some business to take care of in Piscataway. First, guys.
Thanks, fellas. We got a great one going, 40-36. The winner becomes bowl eligible. Penn State started the season 3-0, lost 6 in a row, and they're trying to finish the year 3-0, right? So it's a 6-6 season. Not many teams go from 3-6 to 6-6 to finish their season. But if Rutgers, you get a stop here, you got 2 timeouts left, you could potentially get this thing back with maybe a minute left. They got to get a stop, though. Kaytron Allen is the back. Allen gets it and leans down after a pickup of 5 or 6. And Penn State will use their timeout.
Rutgers.
I should say Rutgers will use the timeout. Second one.
30 seconds.
While we've got a couple of moments, I want to make sure I thank our outstanding crew, by the way. Most of our crew is back in Chicago right now getting pelted with snow, but we do have some folks that are with us. Our camera operators, Kent and Derek, Julio, Pat, who's off this week. Tech managers, Chris and Sean, video, Rachel. She does such a good job making our pictures look perfect. Al, Scott, Kyle in our audio room. There's Derek, who was in Utah this morning. In our tape room, Karen, Phil, and Misha, graphics, Alex Struckman and Elena, Associate Director Adam Holtzman, on our BTN box, Dave Frambies, Kristen, our Technical Director, Andrew Blaustein, our Director, and outstanding producer, Bart Fox. Second down coming up. Hand it to Allen. He is brought down. Third down coming up. Timeout Rutgers. Be remiss if we didn't mention our coordinating producer, Alex Birchie, executive producer of Big Ten Network, Mark Halsey, and the president of the Big Ten Network, Francois McGillicuddy. We would not be able to do what we do without you all. The talent is always in the truck and behind the scenes, so we appreciate you for all of your hard work this season. And of course, everybody here in the booth, Ethan Cooperson, Bob Lanigan. Coop does our stats. Bob does our spotting and stage managing. Jake, you're amazing. Brooke, also amazing. And now we can talk football. 3rd down and 2 with your season on the line.
And last of all, thank these two teams for playing with absolute desperation here. This run is for a bowl game. And if you're Rutgers, you're absolutely selling out to stop this run. Penn State's had some luck with some trickery. But I would be shocked if this ball goes to anyone other than Kaytron Allen. That's Singleton lined up in the hip of the right tackle.
Ronnie in the backfield. They give it to Allen, and he is stuffed. No gain for Kaytron Allen. 4th down coming up. I mean, if you're Penn State, do you go for it and try and put the game on ice, or do you kick and make it a 7-point game? That's the decision for Terry Smith.
You know, personally, I'm running this ball with the way this game has went. Rutgers has been able to score points. Defense has been vulnerable. I like my chances of getting 1 yard running the ball behind my offensive line and tight ends. That's what we're going to see here.
Here's your game. 4th down and 2 officially. Play clock winding down. And a timeout used by Penn State. They can think a little more. Rutgers thought that Penn State jumped. First timeout used by Penn State. 1:04 on the clock. '87. Look at 87 right there on the end of the line. Rappleyea. There was a flinch there, no doubt. But did the timeout come first?
You can get away with a little movement there too. Rappleyea maybe saying, hey, he was standing up to look at the sideline. But regardless, with everything we heard from Terry Smith yesterday, and you know, they've turned their season around by giving the ball to Kaytron Allen. They're going to put it on his back again. There it is.
The flinch on the inside as well.
Dinkins was a jump, yeah, but it was close. Regardless, here it is.
4th in the season for Penn State and for Rutgers. Allen, the running back. Rappleyea in motion. Hand it off. No, it's a play action pass. It's complete. Rappleyea makes the catch. A 1st down for Penn State. And that is your ball game. What a call from Terry Smith. How close was this going the other way for Rutgers?
Really, really close. That was almost a pick 6. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's Jabome. Just not as close as I initially thought, but either way, a great play call at the right time throughout this game. Kotornicki sprinkled it in. The play action when everyone thinks it's going to Kaytron Allen, and goes to Rappleyea to ice the game.
All they have to do is snap it once. And Penn State will end their season on a 3-game winning streak, and they will be bowl eligible. Both teams over 500 yards of total offense. And what a way to end this game. And the irony that it came on a defensive touchdown.
Right.
Both teams had over 500 yards of offense.
This is just so special here for Terry Smith, too.
Look at all that emotion.
There it is, exactly. What bigger compliment for the locker room and how they view Terry Smith than to play as hard as they have since he became the interim head coach. The players love him, the staff loves him, the fans love him. They deserve the chance to celebrate this one, get into a bowl game.
6-6 for Penn State. You feel terrible for a guy like Ethan Kaliak-Manis, who he had an opportunity with the ball in his hands to extend the lead. And for Ethan Kaliak-Manis, that will tell you the entire story right there. His fumble led to the touchdown, which was the clincher for Penn State, and now down to Brooke Fletcher.
Coach, you've talked about the connection you've made with this group. How proud are you to lead them to a bowl game?
Yeah, it's we overachieved. I'm so happy for these guys. They worked so hard. We had a really tough year. We figured out how to get some wins late in the season. They deserve to go to a bowl game. Even a night like tonight, it wasn't pretty. We made it tougher than it needed to be, but we found a way to win. And that's ultimately what our job is to come out with victory.
What's striking these emotions?
I'm sorry?
What's striking these emotions?
I just love these guys. I love Penn State. I love everything about this game, and it takes care of me. It takes care of my family, and these guys are awesome. I mean, you look at the effort today. Katron Allen over 200 yards. Nick Singleton breaks all our records. Just a tremendous effort by the guys. The defense didn't play well all night, but then we get a scoop score touchdown and a fourth down stop. So they made plays when they needed to make plays.
You know, you're talking about the resiliency, but what does this win, what does this mean, and what does this tell you about the connection that you've created with this group?
Yeah, we're bonded. They love me, I love them. We play for each other, we coach for each other. It's special. It's hard to describe because they embrace me with such love and passion that it's just like, it's like when my daughter hugs me, there's nothing like it in the world, and it's just unconditional.
Coach, enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
What a big win for Penn State. I mean, what a way for us to finish our regular season as well. Ethan Grunkemeyer with an outstanding day today, and he rode his running backs to a huge victory, and really it was a scoop and score. That was the difference. Terry Smith, the huge hug and congratulations as Penn State becomes bowl eligible this season after losing 6 straight. They win 3 in a row. I mean, what a great way for us to end this season, Jake. And what was a thrilling, we saw 1,000 yards of total offense between the two teams.
It was, and I just want to say congratulations to Terry Smith and Penn State. I mean, this program was left for dead. It's a frustrating season. I mean, they were one of the key picks to win a national championship, and now to get back to a bowl game, all they had to go through and overcome. You lose Drew Aller throughout the season. Grunkemeyer steps up. This game was a microcosm. It was not pretty, but they made the plays that they needed to make, and looking forward to watching them compete in a bowl game.
40-36, our final score from Piscataway. That'll do it for us and our entire crew. It has been a blast bringing you college football on the Big Ten Network this season. For Jake Butt, Brooke Fletcher, and our entire crew, I'm Jeff Levering saying good night from Piscataway. Saturday Night Volleyball is coming your way next.